This is a true crime discussions channel. We speculate. This is all just speculation. Because it's true crime, it's for mature audiences only. There will be no children allowed, no exceptions. Everything on this channel falls under fair use. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. It's free.
Oh, my mic was off. Hey, y'all. Good to see you. Miss King of Anything, you are in the vertical live. Just so you know, if you click the link at the top, it will bring you to the normal live. Also, last night while I was recording that video, I heard the ticking again. I really genuinely believe it is this refrigerator that is like literally less than a foot away from me. So I am going to move that, just updating you guys. I'm going to move that to the other side of the room. I'll show you. The refrigerator's literally right there, which kind of sucks because I like it there, but I'm going to move it. My room's a mess. Sunday, I have to clean my room, so forgive me for my room being a mess. I'm going to move it over there. Y'all see my dresser? Everything is on my dresser right now. I got to clean that up. I can't stand it. It drives me nuts. Got to get a better thing to put my jewelry on because I've got a ridiculous amount of earrings, and my children, the girls, keep coming in every morning before school and getting my earrings. One of them wore these yesterday. That's why they were out. They don't put them back. Anyways, let's get started. Lisa Lynn, good to see you. Lori Ann, good to see you. Southern Cats, good to see you. It stops when I grab the camera. Really? The camera sits on the desk. So then it would make me think it's the desk vibrating. So what could I put the camera on to make it stop vibrating other than the desk? We should get together. Good to see you, Hio, my love. Southern Cats, good to see you. Shelby, good to see you. Speaking of Hio, real quick, I'll go ahead and pull this up because I don't like looking at myself in full screen. You know, I've been getting less views and stuff, and I've got good content. I think people just like, oh my God, that girl is hideous. Why the fuck is she on camera? So I might be off of camera. I clicked on YouTube to get the Nancy Guthrie update that I just saw. And lo and behold, we have this true crime chat topics to be determined live notification for 8 o'clock for me tonight. And I'm going to share that with you guys. I will be there. Definitely check out Hio. I hope to see you guys there. I'm serious. People like this biatch is ugly. Ew, I'm not watching this video. Jenny Jen, good to see you. Could be because I'm running my mouth too. I was running my mouth all morning. I've got to go under the Krama account. I've got to stop doing it under allegedly speculating. I've got to. So I need to stop doing that. Edith, good to see you. Karen, good to see you. Thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate you. One sunny day, I saw that you were thumbs up like number 1 or 2. Oh, you were second here. Yes. Thank you for that. I really appreciate it. Jenny Jen, A1 from day one. Cindy, my love. So stopping by to show some love and hitting the thumbs up. If y'all don't mind, twinkle, twinkle, baby. Over to that thumbs up.
Come on, players, stop hating. Stop hating. Start participating. Start participating, star. Come on, twinkle, twinkle, baby. Twinkle, twinkle.
Twinkle, twinkle, baby. Stop hating, all you haters out there. I need to do a poll. The link isn't working for you. Okay, hold on, Diane. Let me go drop it. Hold on just a minute. I almost wore my shirt. I've got allegedly speculating merch that says that. And I almost wore it today, but I was like, I'm going to go with the pink shirt. Let's try this. Hopefully that'll work. I'm going to try to pin that one. Maybe I'm not. It won't let me unpin it. Lord have mercy. Try that link, sweetheart. If that don't work, if you come to my page and click on the live that doesn't have a phone icon beside it, or there will be 2 lives. Just click on one. If it's the wrong one, go back out and click on the other. The link isn't working. Okay. So now I've got 2 people telling me, but I can't load the freaking chat. There we go. Okay, now I can unpin that. Try to pin this. Let me go back and get the actual link for this live right now that it's live, because I got it before it went live. And we'll try to pin that one. Okay, I need it to be big again. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to drop this link and I'm going to pin this link because now that we're live, it should work. Okay, try it now. Karen said, just today is the 2-year anniversary for Connie's passing. Please say a prayer. Y'all, please keep Connie in your thoughts and prayers. I'm so sorry that that is going on. I know that's hard. What helps me, I lost, we were separated at the time. I had been with Mr. Speculating for like 6 months, but my son's father passed away from an overdose, unfortunately. Mr. Speculating saved my life because if I had not been with him, I would have been in that Jeep that day and I would have overdosed too. However, on the anniversary of his death and on his birthday, I do light a candle and I say a prayer. So sometimes that helps me. And just remember, and I've showed you guys, I have his ashes in a necklace. So that might help. Thank you guys. Liddy, good to see you. Said, maybe we are just ready for some real good news. I know I am. You are an attractive lady, dear, and the chat room is warm and loyal. You guys are warm and loyal. Go to the live that is not labeled vertical. Okay, thank you for that. Oh, it's okay. It's been a long time, but you know, the link worked for you. YouTube's been acting crazy lately. Like YouTube's drunk and needs to go home and eat a sandwich and drink some coffee or something. Hio said, back out of this live, go to the channel under live and go to the one that is not labeled vertical. Thank you for that, Hio. I appreciate you so very much. Okay, we've got an update on Nancy Guthrie. I watch all kinds of stuff. I've been watching stuff about resin. Look at that. I bet it's from Dollar Tree too. Oh, no, it's with the clay. Y'all, I tried with clay. I tried to make the little figures, and it was not happening for me at all. We got new claims about Kurt Cobain's death. Y'all let me know if you want to see that. We are going to my history. I think it was a short. I was watching all the shorts. Hold on. There it is. All right, so here is the update on Nancy Guthrie. I'll be honest with y'all. A lot of people are covering that case. They said it's the first ransom demand in decades. That family's going through a lot. So I've been following, needless to say, I've been following Brian Inton. I know I say his name wrong, for updates. And that's who I would follow if I were you, because he's out there. So I'm going to play for you what he just said. Hey, Mustang, good to see you. And Edith, I'm glad you're here. Mustang's here. Mustang Sally. Lisa said, no luck here. Drunk and go home. Try to come to my page, sweetheart. I'm sorry it's not working. I hate that. And I appreciate you too. All right, I'm gonna run and turn my coffee pot on while we watch this because I can hear it. This is the latest update that we have in the Nancy Guthrie case.
Hey guys, so a couple developments here from Tucson. It's Thursday morning. I'm getting my days all mixed up. And I'll get video for you guys later because I have video of a lot of this. But first of all, a tent did go up outside of Nancy Guthrie's house, right in the doorway where we were able to capture the video early on of the blood on the doorstep. They covered that area with the tent. They went in with like different kinds of equipment. It looked like a camera and then also like a chart for height, which would make you think that they're trying to figure out the suspect's height based on the video that they have. So the tent was up for maybe an hour, maybe a little more, and then they actually took the tent down and left. So the tent is now down. That's one thing. The other thing is I have confirmed with neighbors that detectives are looking for Ring camera video in the area from January 11th, in the evening on January 11th, which is something new. That's obviously well before Nancy disappeared. We don't know the significance about that date, but it's interesting that they have a specific date that they are looking for video for on January 11th.
I wonder if January 11th, like she got something delivered or had some yard work done and they're looking into a suspect in that area of work or something to that effect. Find it interesting that we're going back to January 11th to look for video.
Trying to think if there's anything else that's just been running around. If anything else develops, I'll obviously let you guys know, but those are the two big things so far today.
So I know y'all seen the pictures of the blood in front of her house, and the images. Let me try to pull that up real quick. Okay. So that is the blood on the ground in front of her house. That's where they put the tent up at, right above this blood right here. And that tells me that the suspect appeared to have a pistol in his waistband. I think he pistol whipped her and she was bleeding. Those are drops of blood, and you can see like right there, you see how that it hit and it goes out. So again, that's splashing from up high. I don't know how to zoom back out now. There we go. So it seems to me like she's either walking and bleeding from the head, but I would think that would be more like of a rundown kind of thing, like it would run down her face. So more than likely, she's probably being carried and the blood is just dropping maybe from a head wound. And if you're vertical, like if you're being carried over somebody's shoulder like this, it would absolutely drop, fall like that and splash. I think that's what's going on there. This is just my uneducated in forensics specifically opinion. And then the suspect images with what he just said. Let's talk about that real quick. Okay, this is basically the main one that we should talk about. In this image, he's putting his hand over a camera that is fixed onto the wall or onto the brick, right? So you can see how tall he is from the camera. They have forensic teams that can take the angle of the camera and the way the camera is facing and use that to figure out exactly how tall somebody is. And it actually wouldn't take long. You would just need a measuring tape and you would put it to where the suspect's head is, and that's going to tell you approximately how tall he is. I genuinely believe that's what they are doing. I've also heard more about this person named Carlos. I think Carlos was ruled out. I've seen a big creator specifically talking about Carlos not wanting to talk about anything. Carlos was ruled out from my understanding. So why are we still on Carlos? The case is very odd, and it's good to see you, Hannah, my love. In the image, you can see a mustache. Ooh. I don't know if I can zoom in. You can. That's what that black is right there. And then we were talking about how the mask comes way out, and that could be a beard. And I remember everybody talking about the son-in-law. Like, I have to question that. Could it be the son-in-law? Because that beard was big and long. If he rolled it up and balled it up, that would absolutely make the ski mask come out to like right here, like it was in the image we saw, which I can pull up if we need to do that. No one is ruled out. Okay. It's very odd. Karen said, thank you everyone for all the prayers and well wishes. I will be in the bushes today, just really not in the mood to chat a whole lot. I understand that, but I'm here and listening. Love to each and every one of you. We love you too, sweetheart. Cara, good to see you. You do what you got to do, my love. Just try to remember her, and I know it's hard. They say it gets easier with time, and it doesn't. It doesn't. It's hard. I often ask, I'm upset with myself because I wasn't there, but everybody's told me not to be, because if I had been there, the only thing that would have changed is there would have been 2 people dead instead of just 1. But I can't not blame myself for what happened in my situation. But anyway, moving on. You said there is a hostage rescue team there now. Let's see what we've got on this real quick before we get into things to this here day. First thing that popped up, we got 3 minutes ago. Let me pull this up. This is from NBC News from 3 minutes ago.
Across social media. The chilling visuals from the night of Nancy Guthrie's disappearance have been seen and shared by millions across social media.
Ma'am,
Internet sleuths fixating on this frame of video,
calm
questioning
down.
if it's a tattoo. But with the dark images, digital forensics expert Adam Scott Want says it could be a watch and cautions against the reliability of user-generated enhancements.
I don't think we have enough from this particular photo to run that through any sort of eye or facial recognition, but we do have enough once we have a suspect to be able to confirm whether or not it's them from this picture.
I mean, yeah, I'm with him on that. Forrest, good to see you, love. I'm so glad you're here. Not sure what address. Oh, that they're doing hostage negotiations, allegedly. Interesting. The worst part about it, it was so unexpected. I think that's what makes it so hard to comprehend. Having a lot of conversations with her children today, it's just not an easy day all the way up. Yeah, it is hard when it's all of a sudden. You know, I was with Mr. Speculating. I had to leave because he was getting back in that lifestyle and I didn't want to. And I would still talk to him. I mean, we were together for like freaking 10 years. And he would always tell me he loved me on the phone. And I would say, you know, I can't say that to you because I don't want to give you false hope that we're going to be back together. I mean, you know, I'll always love you, but like, we can't be together. Like, and I'm happy where I'm at. But he would always try to get me to tell him that I loved him. And I would say that. I would say, you know, I'll always love you, but I'm not trying to give you false hope, you know. And then all of a sudden to find out from his boss, who I was friends with, that he overdosed and died. And then it was a lot. You always feel guilty and it's hard, but you'll get through it. Just remember all the good times.
Points to important physical characteristics gleaned from the Nest camera.
Using the rim of the arch along with the tiles, experts will be able to get his height, weight, and shoe size almost exactly.
One of the biggest clues.
And that's
most
what
people don't realize, that the gate of
that's what they were doing with the tent in front of the doorway. I'm going to back that up a little bit.
his height, weight, and shoe size
And that's what they're doing with the measurement right now: height, weight, and shoe size.
almost exactly.
One of the biggest clues.
Most people don't realize that the gait of an individual is almost as unique as a fingerprint.
Investigators hoping these surveillance images are the break in the case so many have been desperately waiting for. And it's happened before. Consider the search for accused killer Luigi Mangione.
Well, he has his beanie pulled down, so the only thing you can see is his eyebrows.
Police officers were called to this McDonald's one day after releasing these images to the public. And last summer, the suspected shooter in Charlie Kirk's assassination turned himself in at the urging of his parents after these surveillance images and video were made public.
This helps narrow down an unlimited universe of what could have happened to a sliver of what probably did happen.
And one believes these images in Tucson are just the beginning. Emily Ikeda, NBC News. The chilling visuals from the night of Nancy Guthrie.
They also found his gloves. I'll jump to that real quick and then we'll continue reading that article. So this reads, Nancy Guthrie disappearance. Investigators found a set of gloves along road as search enters the 12th day. Investigators found a set of gloves amid the investigation into Nancy Guthrie's disappearance. The FBI conducted an, quote, extensive search, unquote, Wednesday along multiple roadways in Catalina Foothills, in the Catalina Foothills area of North. Okay, I apologize. They conducted an extensive search Wednesday along multiple roadways in the Catalina Foothill area north of Tucson, Arizona, and they continue to offer a $50,000 award for information. The search for 84-year-old Guthrie enters its 12th day today. That's 8 minutes. We'll watch part of it and see what they're saying.
Sources telling Fox News a set of gloves have been found about a mile and a half from Nancy Guthrie's home. Investigators have not yet confirmed they're tied to the Guthrie case.
Hey, Matthew.
The gloves are reportedly
I think it's an inside job.
tested for a
I'm with
DNA
you.
sample, which could crack open the case.
He was trying so hard to leave no trace behind. He was in there
I don't like
40
Nancy
plus
Grace.
minutes.
It's
All
okay.
I need,
It's been a long time.
is
It's
one
good to see you,
hair. One, be it nuclear or non-nuclear, meaning no root or root. All I need is one. Why? Because that DNA that they have found there is coming back. Even if he doesn't have a record, still genetic genealogy.
Yeah.
Busted.
She's not wrong.
Police are also focused.
The fact that the gloves are there, they might can pull DNA from inside the gloves as well. Norma Guerrera, good to see you. Just so you guys know, you and Matthew, Norma and Matthew, you are in the vertical live. There is a link. It's working for some. You can try to click it and come to this live. If not, you can go to my page and click on the live that doesn't say vertical. Hey, Abraham, I was thinking about you today. I put on my bracelet that you made, the pink one, because it goes with this shirt. And I was thinking about you. We're going to redo the drawing on Saturday, too. And as soon as I can, I'm getting that stuff sent to Abellis. It's just been, you know, we've been counting change for gas and stuff. So it's been a little tight here. So as soon as I can, I'm going to get that. And I'll give you the tracking number for it as well. I'm trying to get the resin to finish the gifts, but we're going to get them out as soon as possible. We don't know where the gloves came from. I think they came from this guy. We'll continue.
On the backpack, which was worn by the person seen walking outside.
Go to the channel and choose the non-vertical live. Thank you, Lisa, and
this could
Pierre
be
for
a
saying that
clue
earlier.
to track this person down.
We found that the backpack looks like a Walmart Ozark trail hiker backpack. And what you see is there are reflective pieces on the backpack that match this Walmart backpack. And one of the television stations in Tucson, KOLD, said today that, late today, that indeed the law enforcement believes it is that Walmart backpack that the person was wearing.
An extensive search was conducted along the roadways in the Catalina foothills and leading out of the Tucson area. Investigators were also seen returning to the home of Annie Guthrie, Nancy's other daughter, as the investigation enters day 12. Police say they've received over 18,000 tips since the 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie's disappearance.
Charles Marino is a former Secret Service supervisory specialist.
All right, I'm not going to watch all that. That's interesting, though. What to know reads the Pima County Sheriff's Department forensics team was seen searching the brush off of a road near Nancy Guthrie's home early Thursday morning. The search for missing 84-year-old mother of NBC host Savannah Guthrie has entered its 12th day. Investigators found a set of gloves near Guthrie's home on Wednesday, though it is unclear if they match the ones worn by a masked individual seen in the doorbell footage released by the FBI from the front door of her home around the time she vanished on February 1st. TMZ founder Harvey Levin told Fox News, quote, America's Newsroom, unquote, on Wednesday that his organization received a third letter claiming to know who Nancy Guthrie's alleged kidnapper is. A former FBI assistant director later said he was highly skeptical of the new letter, arguing bad actors could be trying to capitalize on this situation. The FBI conducted an extensive search Wednesday along multiple roadways in the Catalina foothills area north of Tucson, Arizona, related to the investigation and continue to offer a $50,000 reward for information. What is this? Ring alert. A neighbor of Nancy Guthrie's tells Fox News investigators are seeking video footage from January 11th from 9 p.m. to midnight and January 31st from 9:30 to 11. The alert also references a, quote, suspicious vehicle on Via Entendre around 10 a.m. on January 31st. I want to zoom in. Okay, I'm going to try to read it. Let me turn my camera off so I'm not making you zoom in on my blackheads while I get real close and read this. Hold on just a minute. Okay, investigators are now, new timeline for Nancy video request. Investigators are now requesting video footage from January 11th between 9 p.m. and midnight regarding the Nancy Guthrie case. Also, Saturday, January 31st between 9:30 and 11, quote, suspicious vehicle on Via Entendre around 10 a.m., unquote. Please check your recordings before they are overwritten. Footage of vehicle traffic is particularly helpful. When submitting, please include your address along with the specific date and time of the video. Hopefully, we can piece this together. And then it gives a link for you to upload your footage, and it's from the missing and endangered adult section. Wanted to see what this was. This reads, there was a theft 2 streets from Nancy Guthrie's house 6 days prior to her kidnapping reported at 6:07 a.m. So I guess Nancy Guthrie's house is the one in blue where the blue dot is, or either the money. Oh, the money is where the incident happened, because over here, this little money bag says theft. Report gives us the report number. The crime is larceny, all other. The date was January 25th of 2026 at 6:07 a.m. Gives the address. They marked out some in the Pima County Sheriff's Department. Says this point has been randomly offset at the request of the agency to protect victim privacy. Zooming in on a location may cause the map pin to disappear. So I don't know if the blue dot is Nancy's house or if Nancy's house is on this yellow street. Allegedly, this is freaking X. Anybody can post anything, really. Hey, Anders. Hey, Skibbity. Skibbity, that's all who I am. Skibbity Poopa Flap, that's all who I am. One sunny day said, the glove being found now reminds me of a knife sheath being magically found under a victim. Things that make you go,
Boom, 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 bop, bam.
It absolutely does. Me as well. Anders, I didn't even see you sneak past me over there. Good to see you. Good to see you guys. Okay, we're going to go back to the original article, see what that one says, and then we will move on. Got a couple of things to talk about this here Thursday. I'm going to show y'all something I bought at the grocery store yesterday after this. So this is the first video we watched, and it is titled Nancy Guthrie Live Updates. Authorities sorting through thousands of tips as investigators search the desert. What we know, investigators combed through the desert terrain near the home of Nancy Guthrie, the mother of, quote, today, unquote, co-anchor Savannah Guthrie, who disappeared from her home in Tucson, Arizona. Guthrie, who is 84, was dropped off at her home the night of January 31st after spending time with her family, and was reported missing about noon on February 1st after she didn't show up to watch a virtual church service with a friend. A man was detained for questioning in the investigation earlier this week and was released without charges after speaking with investigators, authorities said. The Pima County Sheriff's Department said it has fielded thousands of calls since the FBI released security photos and videos from the morning Guthrie disappeared. The images showed a potential subject wearing gloves, a mask, and a backpack who appeared to tamper with the camera at Guthrie's front door. Savannah Guthrie posted a montage of home movie footage of her mom on Instagram Thursday. Quote, our lovely mom, we will never give up on her. Thank you for your prayers and hope, unquote, she wrote. I guess these are posts. This is Sheriff's Department collecting video in relation to the investigation. We just read that. The Pima County Sheriff's Department is asking for all video footage, including vehicles, vehicle traffic, people and pedestrians, and anything, quote, neighbors deem out of the ordinary or important to our investigation, unquote, from January 1st to February 2nd. Police also sent an alert through the Neighbors app to all users within a 2-mile radius of Guthrie's home. Additionally, app users may receive requests from the Sheriff's Department for surveillance footage from doorbell cameras. Gloves found at Nancy Guthrie's house are being sent out for testing, the Pima County Sheriff's Department said in a statement this afternoon. The department said, quote, several items of evidence, unquote, were found at the residence, but provided no details beyond the gloves. The news comes after multiple reports that a nylon glove was found at the home. Pictures and videos released earlier this week by the FBI that include a possible subject in Guthrie's kidnapping show a person wearing black gloves as well as a mask and a backpack. The person was also carrying a firearm on their body. Law enforcement is following up on all viable community leads, the sheriff's department said, and the community should expect increased law enforcement going forward. This is flowers and a message near the Guthrie home in Tucson. It says, "Dear Guthrie family, your neighbors stand with you." Dozens of yellow roses, some red ones. I really hope she gets her mama back. Crystal, good to see you. Stephanie, good to see you. Good to see you guys. Abraham said there's a misconception that they do not have any video clips from the cam. Nest captures video clips of any activity the camera detects. You're just limited on what you can do with the footage. Thank you for that information. I know they've got to have more than they're putting out. Anders said this can't be a kidnapping, though I don't have any better theory. I don't know what it would be other than a kidnapping or ransom. It reads, international and national media outlets, trucks, and camera crews have practically blocked the entire street in front of Guthrie's home amid the ongoing investigation into her disappearance. Tall saguaro cacti and large modern southern homes dot the affluent community of Catalina foothills. Set in the foothills of the Santa Catalina Mountains, houses in this unincorporated neighborhood are generously spaced apart from one another. A Pima County Sheriff's truck sits in her driveway. David Romano, who said he lives around the corner from Guthrie, said detectives have come to his house twice and asked if he has a truck. Romano said he does not drive a truck, but that investigators seem to be looking for someone who does. He did not mention what kind of truck he had or why officials asked his family twice. The FBI's publication of videos from Nancy Guthrie's Google Nest doorbell camera has reinvigorated questions that have dogged big tech companies as they become a larger part of people's daily lives. How much data are these devices collecting? What happens to the data? Is it ever truly deleted? FBI Director Kash Patel said Tuesday that the footage had been recovered thanks to the Bureau's work with private companies. Coming after Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos said the video was unavailable because Guthrie did not pay for a Nest subscription. While the details are still unknown, Patel said in an interview with Fox News on Tuesday evening, quote, "We were able to execute lawful searches and go to these private sector companies and expedite results and then go into their systems and actually excavate material that people would think would normally be deleted and no one would look for." The capture of these videos was a relief, offering authorities and the public some information to use in hopes of finding Guthrie. But it also underscored how these systems can collect video, even if people might not be aware that they are doing so, and that the modern systems that power these internet-connected devices can be harnessed by law enforcement, even when that data may not be available to users themselves. That's real interesting because I have cameras all in my house. Content Angel, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Cameras inside and outside. Fun fact, I never asked anybody on the internet for help with that either. Okay, continuing, a tent was placed outside of Guthrie's front door on day 12 of the investigation into her disappearance. People had been leaving flowers and notes outside of her home. Federal investigators put up the white pop-up tent at her front door at 7:45 a.m. local time and took it down at 9:07 a.m. 5 agents were seen on the ground. It is not immediately clear who set up the tent or what it was used for. An FBI official told NBC News that the Bureau has no comment on the tent. And remember, when we saw the video from Brian Enton, he told us about the tent. That's why I would go to him for updates. I'm going to play that again while I see if my coffee has warmed back up, because I know some of you did not see it in the beginning. I don't understand the purpose of kidnapping an 84-year-old lady. There's a possibility this was to get another family member. It could have been. I think it's to get money because allegedly somebody was asking for Bitcoin. I think that's been determined to be a fake. I think it has to do with money, either insurance policy if she's deceased or money of some sort. I really do. And I think it was supposed to be Nancy Guthrie because of Savannah Guthrie being on TV. Abraham said, me too. I have Nest inside and Ring on my doorbell. I want to get one because mine are like different. I have 3 different apps for my cameras. And I want to get one that's like got all of the cameras on one app. Like, or 2. Nest and Ring would be fine with me. So I got to kind of look into that. Yeah, they didn't have her heart medication. So more than likely she's probably deceased. I think that's why that cryptic message came out on Saturday. What I do love is that just about every YouTuber I've seen covering this thinks that there's more to this than what we're getting and someone knows more. Absolutely agree with that. The FBI definitely isn't going to show their hands, and somebody absolutely knows more. This was planned out. I don't think one individual is doing this by themselves. Forrest said, from what I understand, Nancy Guthrie's home has very little equity available, but Nancy did have money. Interesting. I didn't know that. I figured to be in the Catalina foothills, the way they were describing it, it'd be very expensive. I think it was absolutely targeted. I think that they went after Nancy because of Savannah. I don't understand not knowing the prescription for the camera. Mine's not, I've got to pay my subscription, but yeah, it still catches events. Like it'll show you when somebody walks in front of the camera, but it doesn't continuously record. Can use the Alexa app to see them all from one app. Yeah, I need to get an Alexa. I've been kind of, I feel like I call that, hey, wiretap. You know, people say, hey, Alexa. I say, hey, wiretap. That's why I've been not trying to get an Alexa, but I might need to. My Blink is hooked up on my Amazon Alexa. Interesting. I thought it was difficult to dismantle a doorbell cam. It is. I don't think they did that. I think that they got the footage and the doorbell cam is still there. All right, I'm going to play this while I check on my coffee.
Hey guys, so a couple developments here from Tucson. It's Thursday morning. I'm getting my days all mixed up. And I'll get video for you guys later because I have video of a lot of this. But first of all, a tent did go up outside of Nancy Guthrie's house, right in the doorway where we were able to capture the video early on of the blood on the doorstep. They covered that area with the tent. They went in with like different kinds of equipment. It looked like a camera and then also like a chart for height, which would make you think that they're trying to figure out the suspect's height based on the video that they have. So the tent was up for maybe an hour, maybe a little more, and then they actually took the tent down and left. So the tent is now down. That's one thing. The other thing is I have confirmed with neighbors that detectives are looking for Ring camera video in the area from January 11th, in the evening on January 11th, which is something new. That's obviously well before Nancy disappeared. We don't know the significance about that date, but it's interesting that they have a specific date that they are looking for video for on January 11th. Trying to think if there's anything else that's just been running around. If anything else develops, I'll obviously let you guys know, but those are the 2 big things so far today. Hey guys, so a couple developments here from Tucson. It's Thursday morning. I'm getting my days all mixed up and I'll get video.
Okay. So we'll go back over here. Sorry about that. I appreciate y'all waiting patiently and not drawing on the walls while I was gone. That was super sweet of you guys not to draw on the walls with the crayons while I was gone. Matthew said, careful, Alexa is a one-way ticket to an open T3 fed wiretap. I know, that's why I was like, I call that thing, hey, wiretap instead of, hey, Alexa. I'm scared to get one. But I mean, the cameras I have in my house, they connect to internet cloud storage. And I have to pay for that subscription, 3 different subscriptions, because it's 3 different cameras in total to have that. So where is that information going? Like, there's one in my bedroom. Who's watching that shit? You know what I mean? Somebody's probably watching it. It's scary. Parabola, good to see you. I saw that new video last night. Did you? Interesting. They can listen to me all they want. They will hear me talking to my animals. That's cute. Right, there's the one in my room. Like, y'all better quit. Y'all publish that. I better get paid for it. All right, let me stop. Savannah Guthrie post montage of home movies. It reads, today, co-anchor Savannah Guthrie took an Instagram again today, posting what appears to be archival footage of her siblings, and their mother. Quote, our lovely mom, we will never give up on her. Savannah Guthrie wrote in the post caption, quote, thank you for the prayers and hope. I don't know if it'll pull up because sometimes it doesn't. I don't get on Instagram. I don't even know if I have an account evidently, but I'm not on it. Hold on. Let me make sure it's not going to pull up anything crazy. Okay. We'll watch the montage. Oh, God. There's my face. Jesus in the morning. Scared the shit out of myself. All right. We might have to mute it if there's music playing. I wish I could make it bigger. Oh. I hate music. How precious. I'll mute it this time so it's in the video if I have to take that out. I feel so bad for her because she probably knows that her mom is unfortunately no longer here because she didn't have her heart medication. And I think she's going through the mourning process right now. I don't understand how the FBI has all the availabilities to do all these wonderful things, but we can't find her. Super 8 film. Mr. Speculating was talking to me about that. He said there was, like, it looked like a big tape, like this big, and you would put it in this thing that was like a VCR. Before VCR tapes, I saw VCR tapes, but he said this was like a big disc type thing. Pretty interesting. Hey, Tom, good to see you. It is very sad. I think she's mourning. And for what? Like, what did these assholes get? Prison time? Like, that really fucking worked out. You broke this woman's heart, caused somebody to die. Now you're going to get a fucking murder charge. For what? For what? Money? Oh, that's not the one. We were back over here. I was going to see. They've got several posts and stuff. This says, "Bring Her Home" banner unveiled outside a Tucson TV station. Nancy's daughter, Savannah Guthrie, worked at the NBC affiliate before becoming a, quote, Today anchor. And everybody's signing the "Bring Her Home" banner. Where is Nancy Guthrie case baffles ex-FBI agents? When former FBI agent Catherine Schwitt heard about the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie, her mind drifted to a crime that took place in rural Wisconsin more than 2 decades ago. An 88-year-old grandmother was abducted from her home in February of 2003 and placed in the trunk of her car. Her abductor drove to his property and shackled her inside of a trailer. Soon after, the woman's grandson, who owned a construction company, started to receive messages demanding millions for her release. Quote, "The kidnapper thought he could get a big ransom from the family," unquote, said Schwitt, who investigated the case and helped capture the abductor 5 days after the woman was taken. "The Guthrie case doesn't seem to be following that script," Schwitt said. Quote, "If you're going to abduct somebody for cash, why wouldn't you aggressively try to get the cash by communicating with the family right from the start so you could get your money and return the victim," unquote. That is a good point. It is one of the big questions baffling investigators, law enforcement experts, and the millions of Americans following the high-profile case. Even the recent release of home surveillance footage showing a potential subject provides no additional information about the person's possible motive or what happened to Guthrie. Damn. No suspects or persons of interest are in custody in relation to Guthrie's disappearance as the investigation enters its 11th day. This was from yesterday. We're in the 12th day now. Officials are now reaching out to her neighbors, requesting footage from their security cameras for specific dates and times. Hey, Nicole. I like Judge Judy, too. Not yet, Tom. We were just reading over some of the posts. Just wanted to make sure. I've never heard of a kidnapper who lived happily ever after. I don't know if Charles Lindbergh paid, though. The Lindenberg thing, I think I heard some stuff. They found out that that wasn't true or that the baby fell. I don't know. Something interesting about that. I could be wrong. The baby might have been kidnapped, but there's something with that they recently came out with. Matthew said, for a true kidnapping or abduction, you have to case the target for months and then look at all variables. You would have to be a moron to abduct a target and need a medical care. Turns the charge from kidnapping to homicide, right? Yeah. I mean, yeah, whoever did this, I don't know. Amateur, I would think. Crystal said, I just wish they would find Nancy home they would find Nancy and bring her home to her family that loves her. Me too, sweetheart. I really do. Nobody deserves this kind of shit. I don't care who it is. Shortly after Guthrie disappeared, Pima County Sheriff Chris Nano said that the camera affixed to her door had been disconnected. So you were right, Anders, that she had not. Okay. Shortly after Guthrie disappeared, Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos said that a camera affixed to her door had been disconnected, that she did not have a subscription that would have saved video, and that investigators were trying to work with a tech company on the difficult forensic task of recovering any video. Against those odds, they were successful. More than a week after her reported disappearance, that video was revealed. An internet-connected Google Nest camera captured an unidentified person in a mask and gloves carrying a backpack and a firearm approaching Guthrie's home just before her disappearance. FBI Director Kash Patel said the Bureau was able to collect the video from, quote, back-end systems, unquote. Yeah, I'm glad that they were able to in this instance, but I need to know more about these back-end systems, Kash. It's not yet clear how the FBI was able to collect the video, and probably never will be. Experts told NBC News that in some cases it's possible to collect data from the complex infrastructure that has enabled cloud-based cameras to become a common household feature. The footage the FBI recovered from Guthrie's Google Nest doorbell camera has provided critical clues in the investigation and led to an outpouring of tips. Now home security companies, including Nest, Ring, and Blink, are being thrust into the spotlight. Nearly 80% of U.S. homeowners say they own some type of security camera, including the most popular brands Nest, Ring, Arlo, and Blink. Many install these cameras out of concern for crime and property safety. And then I'll read these two and we'll move on. More than 4,000 calls have come into the Pima County Sheriff's Department in the 24 hours after the FBI released photos and videos of a potential subject. The department yesterday said it has received 18,000 calls with tips since February 1st. They're sifting through 18,000 calls, y'all. Hey, Scratchy Paint, good to see you. Look. If you really feel like you've got valuable information, please call the Pima County Sheriff's Office. If you're across the country and just, think that you see a man in that camera footage, please don't call the FBI and let them know that you do believe it's a man or a woman, or that, he might have a mustache, he might have a beard. Like, they know this. Please only call them with actual tips that could help, because we don't need to be wasting their time. Y'all, I forgot to do my eyeshadow today. Y'all seeing me with the least amount of makeup on in this here live. Crystal said they are saying Nancy's favorite color is yellow, so throw some yellow hearts in chat. Yes, please do that. 100%.
Boom, 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 bop, bam.
And that would explain the yellow roses outside of her house. Thank you for that, Crystal. I appreciate that information. And that is really thoughtful. Good to see you, Rubber. Tom said, what was that body that was found identified as her? They said the clothing was similar to what she was last seen wearing. I haven't heard about that, Tom. I'll look it up. If it really was an amateur, why haven't they been found? Good point, Sarah. Good point. As much as I hate to admit it, I don't see an 84-year-old lady surviving a week without heart meds. I know. And I think that's where Savannah Guthrie's at while they were giving that cryptic message, that kind of made it sound like they knew she was gone. Yeah. You did see a color picture. Be careful about creators adding colors. Like, they might do it to try to enhance the photo, but if they're not saying that that's what they did, please be careful. Thank you guys for the yellow hearts. Abraham said the cameras captured all activity. You're just limited to the retention time you have to download the footage, as Nest allows you to do it without a subscription, and Ring does not allow you to. Thank you for that information. Oh, thank you. Hey, Mel Stellar, good to see you. Stiller, I apologize. Good to see you. You are in the vertical live. There's a link that works for some people, not all people. I don't know why YouTube's drunk. If you want to come into the regular live, but you can hang out over there too. Thank you, Crystal. Let me see what I can find on that. Yes, let's bring Nancy home. Miss King of Anything, good to see you. All right, I'm going to read this last one, and then we'll see what we can find on the body. Law enforcement, digital forensics experts, and the public have been analyzing every frame of the videos recovered from Guthrie's Nest camera to identify clues about who may have taken her. A pair of black gloves has been recovered by investigators searching for clues in the disappearance of Guthrie, according to a report from NBC affiliate KBOA of Tucson. The gloves are being tested for traces of DNA, the report said. KBOA also reported that residents in the Catalina foothills, where Guthrie lives, have been asked to provide investigators with any doorbell camera footage between 9:30 a.m. and 11 a.m. on January 11th. The need for this is urgent, as investigators fear the footage could be automatically overwritten and deleted if it isn't retrieved soon, KBOA reported. NBC News has asked the FBI and the Pima County Sheriff's Department for comment and has not received a response. NBC affiliate KBOA of Tucson has called for anyone with information on the whereabouts of Guthrie to come forward. The station where Savannah Guthrie once worked hung a banner outside of its office yesterday that simply read, "Bring her home." Quote, "As we're almost now through 11 days into the search, we all want to know where she is, if she's okay, and we want to bring her home to her family," unquote, an online story at KBOA read. That talks about the man detained a week ago. Tell you what he said. The man, who identified himself as a delivery driver, Carlos Palazulios, told reporters early yesterday that after being questioned, he was released without being arrested. Authorities confirmed that a man was detained and released as a follow-up on incoming leads. He has not been charged. He said he might have delivered something to Guthrie's home at some point, but didn't recall doing so. He said he was stopped while driving and was detained and questioned because officers thought his eyes matched those seen in the door cam footage released by the FBI. He said he doesn't know who Guthrie is and wasn't involved in the kidnapping. He said being questioned and stopped was, quote, "terrifying, something I didn't do. I felt like I was being kidnapped, bro. They didn't tell me anything," unquote. He confirmed his house was searched as per a warrant. His front and back doors were damaged, he said. So here's a quick timeline. February 1st is the missing report. Nancy Guthrie's family reports her missing around noon. February 2nd is the first ransom note. A ransom note is sent out to media outlets, including a local Tucson television station. February 3rd is when the blood is found. Investigators find blood at or near the front porch of Guthrie's house. DNA testing later confirms that the blood belongs to Nancy. February 4th is the first family video. The family releases an Instagram video asking the possible kidnapper to contact them and requesting proof of life. February 5th is the second family video, first deadline. At 5 p.m. local time, the first deadline mentioned in the ransom note passes. Around the same time, Cameron Guthrie appears in a video message asking for a way to communicate with whoever could be holding his mom. Second ransom note, February 6th, a second ransom note is sent to Tucson television station KOLD. February 7th, third family video. The family releases a third Instagram video saying they would pay for her safe return. February 9th, second deadline. The second deadline mentioned in the ransom note was reported to fall on this day. Savannah Guthrie says in a new video that her family needs the public's help. February 10th is the FBI releases black and white doorbell camera photos from videos of an armed, masked person at Nancy Guthrie's house the morning she went missing. This has arrows. I want to click on it, but it won't let me go down. Well, that's not what I'm looking for. All right, I think that's what we've got on that. I feel like we've covered it pretty extensively. What did Cara say? What's also crazy is how was it that Brian Enton found the blood and investigators didn't find it? I didn't know that. That is interesting. Let's jump over there for a minute. Maybe they found it but didn't release it. He's got a lot on this case. So the first one was the latest from outside of Nancy Guthrie's house. No. We can't watch all of these. They had a major police presence. Okay, so the first one was who took Guthrie. Outside Guthrie's home. Just got out of Nancy Guthrie briefing. Totally dark outside Nancy's house. Outside Annie Guthrie's house, and an update on the investigation. Annie Guthrie is the one with the son-in-law, right? Because I feel like that's the person who could be responsible for this. Abellis, my love, it is so amazing to see you.
Amazing!
Thank you for gracing us with your presence. It's good to see you, love. I hope you're doing good. Forrest said, hi, my favorite neighbor. Pretty sure in that video, he said he was the one who discovered it. Probably. Savannah works on CBS. Maybe at one time worked at NBC. I have to go. I need to get ready to run a few errands. Sending you oodles of love. Okay, you too, Mel. Be safe out there. They will never tell you everything they found or have until motion of discovery in court. You're absolutely right about that. Hey, Tony. I didn't even see you sneak in. Good to see you. Breaking major police update at the sheriff's office. I'm going to play this one.
Hey guys, so I am outside of Savannah Guthrie's sister Annie's house, which is about 10 minutes from Nancy Guthrie's house, which is where Nancy went missing from. There's a lot of media. You can see all these cars. There's a lot of media here outside Annie's house. We don't know if she is home with her husband right now. She was spotted here yesterday, and the FBI, sorry, it's windy out here. The FBI was here. This is the house. The FBI was here yesterday. We saw them talking with Annie and her husband here, but it's been quiet out here today. The neighborhood's pretty similar to the neighborhood that Nancy lives in. The houses are kind of spaced out. There's a lot of land in between. So just wanted to show you guys. I'll keep you guys posted if there's any updates. The sheriff did put out a release this morning saying that they have no suspects right now. They have no persons of interest, and the investigation is ongoing, and they're still asking for any tips. Hey guys, so I am...
All right, so I'm not going to watch all of these. He was talking about, though, I've been kind of watching him to get my updates, as I would advise you do the same. There's the link for this video. He was talking about they were in there taking a shit ton of pictures. They were checking a septic system in one of the videos I saw. There's a lot going on in this case. But today's live is about a different topic. So with that, we will move on. All I can say is I hope that they find her soon. I hope that she is alive. I hope by some miracle, God has laid hands on her and she is still alive and she can be brought home to her family. I wanted to share this with you. I bought it at the store yesterday. Here, you might know about these things. I don't know if y'all ever had them, but I got these things. They're like wheels, and you heat up oil and you fry them and they get real big. and then you can eat them. The way we had them was like with it was during my time when I was younger. They had beer salt. Their beer salt was being sold at the time everywhere, and they would put beer salt and lime on it. I think they'd be good with lime and tahini, but they're so good. And I saw them, and it's been years since I had them, so I got them and I made them for the kids, and they're so good. And the kids loved them. They're called gyros. Thank you for that. I don't know what they're called. My daughter was asking, did they have any other shapes? I said, salsa valente. Okay, I'll try that. I said, I think they got like triangles and squares. I said, but the wagon wheels are the ones that are the fun ones. So that's why I got that for the kids, really. Valentina. And lemon. Okay, cool. Thank you for that. Hey, Kimmy. The helicopters were flying around like crazy. I'm praying for a safe return. They are? Yeah, they are so good. Thank you, guys. Salsa Valente or Tapito. Tapatio. Okay, I wrote it down. Thank you guys for that information. Yes, they're so good. Make me want to dance. You got a giggle out of my bag. I don't want them. I don't know if they get like stale, so I put them in a Ziploc. I opened them. They're from, I don't know. That's the company that makes them. You can't see it, but it's got a sun on it, and then it's got like everybody's grandma. It's like $3 for that bag, and I already made a pot of them. If you know, you know. I don't know, so I'm gonna move on. Okay. You like Tapatio? I'm gonna have to look it up. What is it? Let's look it up real quick, and then we'll move on. Tapatio. Oh, that hot salt. I use Texas Pete, but it's because I mix Texas Pete with Duke's mayonnaise specifically. Has to be Texas Pete and Duke's mayonnaise. And they called it, a guy showed it to me in high school, probably early 2000s, and he called it Southwest sauce. And I've made it ever since my whole life. And everybody in the house eats. I've actually got a squirt bottle. It was in here because we had French fries and chicken nuggets, and I was working on that video. But I've got a squirt bottle that I mix it up in and make it. I will try this one, but I like the Texas Pete so far. Mr. Speculating would probably like that. They got macaroni and cheese. I don't know. I can't show you because it's pulling up my address on that one. Yep. It says Tapato mac and cheese is a creamy, cheesy macaroni dish with a signature zesty kick from Tapito hot sauce, available in original and queso blanco in varieties. I try to pull up the picture. It's pulling it up on like Walmart, and I couldn't share that. Look at that. I'm gonna have to try that because I love me some mac and cheese now. You should. Oh, it's like 4 miles away from you in Vernon. It's a Cali company. You should go on a tour. You should. Yeah, I like Duke's. Tapito has a birria ramen that's really good. I have to try that. Tapato. Yeah, I'm English as fuck. Like, I should stop now. I feel like I'm doing a disservice to Spanish people, my fellow Spanish people. I feel like they just need to come and slap the shit out of me right now for the way I'm pronouncing it. All right, so I did see this before we get into the topics of today. And it claims that the mystery of the missing minute from the Jeffrey Epstein jail video has been solved. We talked about the missing minute from the video in a previous live, and so I figured we would read this and see what the hell they're saying, and then we'll move on. So it claims the mystery of the missing minute from the Epstein jail video has been solved. How the fuck that happened, I don't know. Girl, it's got to be Duke's. It's got to be Duke's. Tabasco sriracha. I like the Texas Pete with garlic. That shit is amazing. Okay. Newly released FBI documents. Okay, wait a minute. Skirt. Let's back that up and try it again. Back it up. Newly released documents show the FBI scrambled to explain last year why it released a screen recording with a missing minute from the night Jeffrey Epstein died instead of the original footage. The discrepancy fueled conspiracy theories about the cover-up after the then Deputy FBI Director Dan Bongino promised the agency would release the original surveillance footage from Epstein's Manhattan jail, quote, so you don't think there are any shenanigans, unquote. The FBI has never offered a public explanation of how it ended up releasing a video with a gap in the footage. Last May, as groundswell built demanding public scrutiny of the Justice Department's records on Epstein, the agency ran into a problem. It had already destroyed its master copy of surveillance video from Epstein's final hours in the Metropolitan Corrections Center. Because that's not suspicious at all. No. An FBI agent sought and was granted in June of 2024 authorization to destroy any evidence item labeled 1B60, describing it as an exhibit, quote, no longer pertinent, unquote, to the case. Y'all, I'm not buying it.
A bullshit? A bullshit? A bullshit? A bullshit?
That's complete bullshit. You ain't just destroying evidence for no fucking reason. Okay. A high-level overview of the steps taken to do so was compiled in July by FBI Digital Forensic and Analytics Section Chief. The effort involved obtaining another copy of the footage that remained stored across 2 files on a Nice Vision digital video recorder, the system used in the jail. One of the video files started at 7:40, the other started at 12 a.m. and ended at 6:40 a.m. On May 21st of 2025, an agent used a screen capture tool to re-record the footage from Nice Vision. Excuse me. But 62 seconds of footage couldn't be captured, leaving a gap from 11:58 and 58 seconds to 12. Soon after the video was released in July, members of the public noticed it jumped from about 11:59 to midnight. Rather than explain that the footage had been pieced together from a copy, Attorney General Pam Bondi announced that the reason for the gap was the prison recording system had a nightly reset, resulting in a lost minute every night. Excuse me, gracious. Quote, there was a minute that was off that counter. And what we learned from Bureau of Prisons was every year, every night, they redo that video, unquote. Bondi said on July 8, noting that the system was old. Quote, every night is reset, so every night should have that same missing minute. So we're looking for that video as well to show it's missing every night, unquote. It appears Bondi had accepted a speculative conclusion summarized by Section Chief that the system reset nightly, losing a minute. It's a theory that appears to have been unverified. See, I mean, okay, she fucked up, right? But like, why the Epstein files? Why this shit that's so important that people believe is not true and there's a lot of conspiracies around it? Why has it got to be that shit that we're lying about and coming to speculative conclusions on that are unverified? It's always the conspiracy shit. Like, get the fuck out of here with your lies. Quote, the video specialist theorized that Nice Vision systems at this time required time to write files and caused a real-time delay in what is recorded, resulting in a gap of time not recorded right before midnight, unquote, the section chief wrote. Quote, the video specialist was unable to test the accuracy of his theory, unquote. Experts told CBS News in July that the time delay theory was implausible. None of the security system specialists CBS News spoke with had heard of a system that had that issue. The Justice Department has not replied to questions about the video files. An FBI specialist tried to merge the screen recordings using the video editing software Adobe Premiere, but, quote, Adobe Premiere did not work with the video file format the screen was capture was created in, unquote, the section chief wrote. The specialist then used software called Fast Forward Moving Picture Expert Group to convert the files to a format compatible to ingest into Adobe Premiere. That stage led to one more apparent discrepancy discovered last year by Wired, which, quote, found that one of the source clips was approximately 2 minutes and 53 seconds longer than the segment included in the final video, indicating that the footage appears to have been trimmed before release, unquote. The Wired analysis was correct. The section chief called it, quote, standard practice, unquote, when doing a screen capture to include, quote, padding, unquote, to the end, extra recording time that can be pared back. Quote, when the screen recording was brought into Adobe Premiere, that padding was trimmed, unquote, the section chief wrote. Wire pointed out that the first video file used in the screen capture was the one with the, quote, padding, unquote. It ended at 11:58 and 58 seconds, which suggests that the two clips would overlap. Hold on. Hold on a minute. I sincerely apologize. Okay, a CBS News investigation published in July of 2025 noted a shift in the video's appearance, known as its aspect ratio after midnight. The section chief explained, quote, the aspect ratio of the file was also corrected to create a more natural appearance, unquote. The full footage, including the missing minute, was made public by Congress in September. It showed that nothing notable or unusual appeared on the recording during that minute. I'm not buying it.
Yeah. A bullshit. A bullshit. A bullshit. A bullshit.
I want to show y'all this this photo. If I can find it. Like, has it been scrubbed from the internet? I found something. So hopefully I can show it to you guys. Let me see what y'all are saying real quick. Yeah, sure, Jan. I'm with you. Right. The neighbors are having babies. It sounded like it. I don't know. I cannot believe any people are swallowing this bullshit they're spitting out. Yeah, I don't believe it. There are too many consistencies, Anders, 100%. I downloaded that video and yes, it's shady. I bet it is. I bet it is. One sunny day said they cut a piece and can't think of how to explain it. Exactly. Exactly. All right, so before we get into today's topic, I want to show you guys this because I saw this or heard about it a little while ago, and I found it very interesting. So allegedly, this is going to show Epstein in Tel Aviv. There's a bigger one. This man right here with the bushy hair, these two men beside him are bodyguards. That was taken recently in Tel Aviv. And they had the FBI do facial analysis and stuff. And they said that it's like 97% sure that it's him. Let me see if I can get the full picture. They're claiming now, here it is. They're claiming now that this photo is fake, that it's AI. There is that mark there that they're claiming, but that could be the person who uploaded it, watermarked it. They're saying that's why it's AI. I want to show you the whole picture. This takes place in Tel Aviv, okay? And you see this man here with 2 bodyguards. All of that shit looks real to me. I mean, I know AI is good, but like usually the hands will be fucked up or the feet. Like none of the hands are fucked up. The background, everything looks legit. The feet are legit. There's even shadows underneath. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not a tech person at all, but that looks legit to me. You know, they say that, but I don't think he is. I don't think he is at all. Y'all think that he's been taken out. Y'all don't think it's him. I don't know, man. They said a bunch of people did analysis on like facial recognition and stuff, and they like through the FBI and like high tech companies, and they were saying that it is. But they came out and said it's fake. I mean, again, it don't look like AI to me. It says a user on X noted that the photo was AI generated, specifically made using Google Gemini as suggested by the alleged watermark, which is visible at the bottom corner. So evidently that watermark is for Google Gemini, but I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I think they put that there. I think the original was scrubbed from the internet, and then they put this one out with the watermark so they could cover it up. Like even the shoelaces are up in the air as they would be if you were walking and your shoe is coming down, like with gravity and motion. The legs are exactly where they need to be. I mean, I know AI is good and everything, but I don't think that's a fake photo. Whether that's Epstein or not, I don't know. Epstein has left the building just like Elvis. There isn't a hope in hell Epstein, 1 is alive, 2 walking around Israel. I might believe it if it was in Russia. Yeah. I get it. Could be. Y'all don't think so? AI is the new computer bullshit. He never wore facial hair or had long hair. Yes, I get he'd want to hide, but no. So a lot of y'all think that it's all bullshit. I don't know. Probably is. I'm probably just not going to believe it because I think he's alive. They wouldn't take out him. He had too many secrets. He did too much. I think they would keep him alive to continue doing what he was doing. Excuse me. Yeah, great point, Lisa Lynn. Technology can verify Epstein's face incognito, but it's impossible to find an 84-year-old woman when you got the fucking suspect on camera. Like, can somebody please make that make sense?
Boom, 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 bop, bam.
Like, I mean, this whole time that Nancy has been missing, I've been just infuriated. Because you could have saved her. She needed her medicine. You could have saved her. Y'all can do all this bullshit, but you can't find her. Stop it. Stop the cap, motherfucker. A little bit of Lisa, good to see you. All right, I'm going to pull up these documents. I did put out a video going over these documents yesterday, but I want to talk about specifically the criminal complaint, go over it with you guys. It's very graphic. We finally find out what happened to Hailey Buzbee. After he took her, why, all of the things. We get so much more information about the whole entire case from these documents. So it's extremely important to go over them and talk about it. And I've just pulled them up. These documents are watermarked. If you want them without the watermark, you can get them on my Patreon. The link drops periodically through chat. So let's start with this one. Let's see what y'all are saying. If Epstein was alive, I can't see him wandering the streets. I don't think he would normally, but like it's been a while and most people believe he's deceased. So I could see him coming out now after years and years, you know. He is Jewish? I didn't know that. Looks AI to you? I just don't believe he's gone. He's very much alive. I'm with Southern on this. I think he's alive. The bodyguards should be on either side of him, not both on his left. Was it real? They say it wasn't, but I don't believe them. The powers that be say it was AI. I don't believe it. You're having a heat wave and it's 34 degrees. Good gracious. That's crazy. exactly and attracting attention with a bunch of security dudes. I think it got down to 37 here, which was cold, but we're 70 during the day. I think that's why my children are outside building a clubhouse. All right. So this is the United States District Court for the Southern District of Ohio, Eastern Division. I found this one interesting. We won't go through. I mean, I'll briefly go over them, but the main thing is a criminal complaint. This says, pursuant to Due Process Protections Act, the court confirms the United States' obligation to produce all exculpatory evidence to the defendant pursuant to Brady versus Maryland and its progeny, and orders it to do so. Failing to do so in a timely manner may result in consequences, including but not limited to exclusion of evidence, adverse jury instructions, dismissal of charges, contempt proceedings, or sanctions by the court. I find that interesting. You know, he hasn't been charged with her homicide, and I'm wondering what route they're going to go down on this case. What exactly are you going to say happened that caused Hailey to be in your presence and then you to abuse her the way you did at this rental facility, and then she's deceased. The next morning, you're going to a trailhead in a national forest. She's buried there, decapitated, and then you lead the FBI to her body. Like, what exactly are you going to say happened there? What's your excuse for what happened? I hope they nail his ass to the wall. Content said, well, of course he's Jewish, but he would not be in Tel Aviv. It's too unpredictable right now, not safe. You think so? I seriously saw too much duplication in the photo. I believe it's AI. Okay. I'll have to check it again. Released by anti-Israel sources, likely. There's a lot of lies told on social media to shade Israel. We just have to question the source. Yeah. You don't believe he's walking the earth? I think he could be. This is a waiver of preliminary hearing. He said he understands he's been charged with an offense in a criminal complaint filed by the court, charged with violating terms of probation, whatever. It said or that. I don't think he was on probation. And they confirmed that he could have a preliminary hearing. He waived his right. That is his signature. Right there. T. Thomas and a big old curly shit. And then Sam Shamsky is his attorney. And then they wrote the address of Sam Shamsky's office. And then gave the phone number and the fax number for his attorney's office. This is an order of detention pending trial. Oh, hold on. This one's next. This is the court document they entered. Defendant represented by counsel waived his right to have a detention hearing. Okay, wait a minute. I'm doing it backwards. Let's go here. Defendant represented by counsel waived his or her right to a detention hearing and agreed to be detained in the custody of the United States pending final resolution of this matter. Now, there is a 1 beside that. If we go down here where the 1 is, it says a detention hearing will be rescheduled upon written motion. So there is going to be a detention hearing. They've just waived it for this moment because in the court system, you have a certain number of days to have these hearings, the preliminary hearing, detention hearings, and things like that. So oftentimes when they're represented by counsel, then counsel will advise, their counsel or lawyers will advise them to waive their right to a preliminary hearing or a detention hearing, trial, all of that, so that they can get documents together and then they come back and do these things at a later date. The issue is that I think they have like a week, it's a week to 30 days to do a preliminary hearing and all of these things. That's your right through the Constitution. And you have to waive it, and they have to enter these documents into court stating that you waived that right, and then they do it later. It reads, it is therefore ordered that the defendant be committed to the custody of the Attorney General or his designated representative for confinement in a corrections facility separate to the extent practicable from persons awaiting or serving sentences being held in custody pending appeal. Defendant shall be afforded a reasonable opportunity for private consultation with defense counsel on order of the court of the United States or request of an attorney from the government for the government. The person in charge of the corrections facility shall deliver the defendant to the United States Marshal for the purpose of an appearance in connection with a court proceeding. And they sign that. And here, he waived his right to a detention center. The bottom says, if circumstances should change in the future, the defendant may, upon written motion, request a detention hearing be held at that time. I think he's pretty come to terms with the fact that he's going to be in jail, especially after reading this criminal complaint, because it's fucking bad, y'all. His name is Tyler Nike Thomas. Y'all, please don't name your babies after shoe companies. Please. Ridiculous. Peace Hode. Peace Hode. Yeah, Nike is his middle name. Exactly, content. Why do parents do that to their kids?
Boom, 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 bam.
I played the wrong one. Where is my mind? We got to have the intro again. Or Cars. Right. Okay, this is the courtroom minutes. They logged in at 1:38. They logged out at 1:43. That was February 10th at 1:30. What happened during that courtroom appearance, which was his initial appearance, he was advised of rights, charges, and penalties. He requested, qualified for, and will be appointed counsel. He waived detention and preliminary hearings. The government was reminded of their obligation under the Due Process Provisions Act, and he was remanded to the custody of the United States Marshal Service, which is all the documents we just went over. It's interesting to me that the defendant requested, qualified for, and was appointed counsel. Like, is the attorney that he originally had not going to represent him now? I find that interesting because it was through that attorney that he led the FBI to Hailey's decapitated body. So that attorney's not going to be his attorney anymore? Like, what exactly is going on here? Nike was a goddess of victory. I didn't know that. So maybe that is. Right. Exactly. But there are many more reasons too. Yeah. Man, I was like, wait, don't go. Excuse me. All right. Now we're going to get onto this criminal complaint. It is very graphic, very hard to hear. Just absolutely fucking horrific. So it tells us the United States of America versus Tyler Nike Thomas. He lived at 947 Hunter Avenue in Columbus, Ohio. Zip code of 43201. You get the case number. Criminal complaint. The complainant in the case, state that the following is true to the best of my knowledge and belief. On or about the day of January 6th to January 2nd of 2026 in the county of Franklin and Hawking in the Southern District of Ohio, the defendant violated 1. Sexual exploitation of a minor, and 2. Travel in interstate commerce with intent to engage in illicit sexual conduct. But notice he hasn't been charged with homicide. The criminal complaint is based on these facts. See attached affidavit. Okay, so Josh Saltier is the affiant, and he is a special agent with the FBI. The introduction and basically learning about him, I mean, he worked for the Air Force. He's got extensive training. This is the type of man you want working this type of case. He specializes specifically in child crimes, crimes with computers, things like that. Thank you for the yellow hearts again for Nancy. We're on the same page. I just don't like to politicize. Yeah. I didn't know. I have of late been looking up names because so many come from the old gods. That's what our calendar's made out of. Was Greek gods. Our calendar system, January, February, March, April, May, all of those. Nike was Greek goddess of victory. I didn't know that. I'm thinking Athena. It's bad. All right, so we're going to go ahead and go ahead and read about the facts supporting the probable cause and talk about it. So, since approximately January 22nd of 2026, your affiant has been receiving information from various law enforcement agencies. It goes through all of them regarding the death and disappearance of Hailey, a 17-year-old female who was born in October of 2008 from Fortville, Indiana. They spoke to different law enforcement agencies. On the morning of January 6th of 2026, Hailey's parents awoke to find that Hailey was missing from their house. They found a note from Hailey stating that she had run away and asking that no one search for her. They noticed Hailey had taken her cell phone and a few personal items with her. They then called 911 to report Hailey's disappearance to law enforcement. Okay. So they wake up. She's like, I'm gone. Don't look for me. I'm not coming back. Whatever reason, teenagers make stupid decisions sometimes, just being teenagers. And they called law enforcement. The officers from the Fisher Police Department in Indiana responded to the home and initiated the investigation. Hailey's parents informed them about the circumstances of her disappearance as well as what they knew of her past online activity. Then we have a redacted section. Officers attempted to contact her friends and acquaintances, but no one was able to provide information about where Hailey might be. They obtained a ping warrant for Hailey's phone number, but the information received from the cellular phone provider indicated that her phone had been shut off or placed in airplane mode because it was not receiving a signal from any cell tower. In the following days, they canvassed the neighborhood surrounding Hailey's residence. They continued to contact her family and friends. The canvass led to 2 residences in the neighborhood where Hailey lived. The owner of one of the residences was woken up by his dogs barking around 3:30 in the morning on January 6th of 2026. He looked out and saw what appeared to be a dark-colored minivan in front of his house. He walked outside. The vehicle drove away. He provided a copy, but it was not of sufficient quality to determine any details of the vehicle. Now we have camera footage from the second residence revealed a dark-colored SUV traveling eastbound on one of the streets where Maddie lived at 3:14 a.m. on January 6th of 2026. He pulled up onto a side street that was called West Street. He stopped and turned off his headlights for a period of time. He then turned his headlights back on and continued traveling eastbound in the direction of Hailey Street. At that point, it went out of camera view. It returned into camera view and was observed stopped at the end of Hailey Street at 3:19. At 3:21, a dog could be heard barking, and at the same time, the SUV began traveling westbound on 101st Street. So more than likely, he stopped on Hailey Street at 3:19 a.m. That's when she's coming out and getting into the vehicle, and then they're leaving at 3:21. Hey, Daria. Yes, I read through this document in a video I put out this morning, but now we're kind of skimming through it and talking about it because there's a lot in here. When I'm doing the videos, I try to just read the documents and keep my personal thoughts out of it. So the lives are going to be for like going through the documents and telling you what I'm seeing and what I'm thinking about what it says. So they submitted a request for any Apple and iCloud information. Apple provided a partial return showing that the device's last outgoing text message activity was at 3:04 to an automated message from TikTok. Her replied message appeared to show her attempting to log into an account. Hailey's father also informed the police that Hailey's devices had been removed from their home's internet router between 3:05 and 3:10. So between 3:05 and 3:10, I think she's walking out of the house. It's at 3:19 that she gets into the vehicle. 3:21, he leaves the area with her in the vehicle. So they didn't have enough sufficient information to believe that Hailey was an endangered missing juvenile at that time. So they treated it as a missing juvenile that had run away. My issue is we need to make sure it's treated with the utmost priority all of the time, no matter what. And I think that's what her parents are doing by going to the state house and trying to have these laws changed, because they lit up the courthouse pink in remembrance of Hailey. Her family is entering language into the session of the political season to get bills changed. And I think it has to do with that. Hannah said he's sus as fuck. He knew where she was. How did he know where she was if he didn't do it? Well, I think that he's admitting that he did do it because he led the police to her body, but I feel like he's going to try to say she overdosed or something. And I don't believe that that's true at all. thing. Okay. In the days after Hailey's disappearance, her parents disclosed to the police additional details about Hailey. They were able to log onto her Snapchat and they observed private messages with an adult male. It's redacted after that. It's at that point that they get the private messages with the adult male that the police are like, okay, this is really important. We need to look into this. Let's put everybody on it. See, we need to be doing it beforehand. On January 16th of 2026, they reviewed license plate reader cameras that were in front of Hailey's residence around the time she was believed to have left. They revealed that a black 2014 Acura with SUV Indiana license plate of WEP 220 was in the area. They tracked the vehicle across several license plate reader cameras and saw it traveling eastbound away from Fishers. They reviewed the history from the Indiana license plate of WEB 220 and noticed the vehicle's pattern of life was primarily in Columbus, Ohio. They quickly reached out to the owner of the vehicle, listen to this, who is going by Jane Doe 2 via telephone. Jane Doe 2 confirmed she owned the black 2014 Acura SUV with Indiana license plate of WEP 220. And she informed that she was in Florida on January 6th of 2026, but Thomas may have been driving the vehicle at that time. Approximately an hour after the initial phone call, she called the police department back and said she spoke with Tyler Thomas, and he confirmed that he was the one driving the vehicle in the morning of January 6th in the area of Luxhaven, which is approximately 1 mile from Hailey's residence. Jane provided Thomas's phone number as 808-381-1466. Later that same day, they sent a request to get all of the detail records from the phone number 808-381-1466. The FBI offered assistance. They used their cellular analysis surveillance team, and they determined that the phone traveled from Columbus, Ohio to Logan, Ohio on the afternoon of January 6th. It arrived in the area of several Airbnb residences off of Walnut Dowler Road in Logan. It left the location of the Airbnb residences for 5 to 10 minutes and then So they noticed that he was going to an area where there's a lot of Airbnbs. It left 5 to 10 minutes after arriving there and went to the vicinity of a Kroger grocery store. They remained at the They remained there for a little while and then went back to the Airbnb. And then the phone remained in the location of the Airbnb until 9:25 a.m. the next day. The next day, the next morning at 9:25. It leaves the Airbnb at 9:25, and it goes to the North County trailhead. The phone remained at that location until 2:15 p.m. So what is that? About 4 or 5 hours. The phone was at the North Country trailhead, and it began to travel back to Columbus, Ohio after that. So what happened was he picks Hailey up. He goes to an Airbnb. They go to Kroger's to get groceries, food, drinks, things like that. He stays there with her all night. And by the next motherfucking morning, he's carrying her body to be buried. That's decapitated at the North Country trailhead.
What the fuck, y'all? God damn! God damn! God damn!
He abducted her, fed her, raped her, and then killed her all in one night. Why? What the hell? I don't understand why you talk to somebody, groom them for a year, pick them up, do whatever the fuck it is that we're going to find out, and then kill her. Why did you kill her? What the fuck? I mean, I've got an idea after reading this criminal complaint, and you'll have one too, but I need to know why you killed her, decapitated her, and buried her body after a couple of hours after spending the night with her. I apologize. This shit works by nerves. Okay. So they also found out that he resided at 947 Hunter Avenue in Columbus, Ohio. On January 16th, they went and met with several officers. They asked Thomas about his reason for being in Fishers, Indiana on January 6th. Thomas said he was driving the Acura SUV on the morning of January 6th in Indiana. He initially stated he was in the area to look at different places, including a local airport and an apple orchard. This man's looking at a fucking apple orchard at 3:30 in the motherfucking morning. Reminds me of somebody that's stargazing at 4 o'clock in the morning. Haven't we been here before? You're looking at an apple orchard at 3:30 in the motherfucking morning on the night that a 17-year-old is abducted. Stop it. Stop trolling me. Like, you really.
You can't make this shit up.
You can't make this shit up. What the fuck? Okay. So he's out looking at places in the apple orchard, evidently. Then partway through the interview, he admitted that he picked Hailey up from her residence. They showed him a picture of Hailey, and he confirmed that Hailey was the girl he picked up. He said he met her online through Discord and had been playing various games with her. At that point in the interview, Thomas got his phone and showed the police his Discord account and how he was communicating with Hailey. Tyler stated that Hailey asked him to pick her up at his residence, and he agreed. He stated once he picked her up from the residence, he drove eastbound toward Ohio with her. He then stated that near Eaton, Ohio, she requested that he drop her off on the side of the road. Now, this part's redacted. It probably says something like, I don't know what. I'm assuming that she didn't want to have relations with him or something to that effect. Forrest said pitch black is best for observing apple trees, right? Yeah. Because that makes all the fucking sense in the world. I know y'all are not being serious. Evidently. Like, it's worse than the stargazing comment, because at least it's stars you would see at night. So he also revealed that he communicated with Hailey on an application called Session, which is a secure communication application. He retrieved his phone and showed the police the exact location on a map on his phone where he claimed to have dropped Hailey off, and that was at the intersection of US 35 and State Road 320 in Eaton, Ohio. So the FBI did a cast of Thomas's phone records, and they found out that he's full of shit and he's lying. On January 18th, they confirmed with the Airbnb that Thomas had stayed there and that he was with another person, that he reserved the place for 2 people. He was with 2 people at the Airbnb. So caught him in another lie. On the 21st of January, they did a search warrant at his residence of 947 Hunter Avenue. This is where he lives, not the Airbnb. And they said it was in relation to the disappearance of Hailey. During the execution of that search warrant, they grabbed his cell phones, laptops, computers, and any other items of potential evidentiary value. They located the 2014 Acura RDX, backed into the detached garage, and they put the vehicle in the impound lot for processing. While they were doing the search of his house, they went to interview him at the headquarters. He was read his constitutional rights, and he confirmed that he understood. He stated he knew Hailey. They had begun playing video games such as Roblox. There it is. He met her on fucking Roblox. Imagine that. And League of Legends for over a year. They had played those games. He also reiterated that he and Hailey communicated on Discord. They asked Thomas when Hailey would turn 18, to which Thomas responded, quote, I thought she was 18, but it came out that she's got 18 months until she turns 18. Thomas described the play, or she's got months until she turns 18. I apologize. He described the plan to pick Hailey up came about near Christmas time, but they ultimately decided on January 5th of 2026. He confirmed that the reservation for the Airbnb was made on January 4th, the day before he picked Hailey up. And he stated that Hailey didn't know about the Airbnb and that it was for him since he, quote, already knew, since he said this is what he said, he already knew that was like a crime to help someone like run away, unquote. He denied hurting or killing Hailey. However, when they asked Thomas if they would tell him if he did kill her, he responded, quote, he said, I think she is alive and safe, and he didn't get to finish it because the police interrupted him and said, so you wouldn't tell me if you did? To which Thomas replied, he said, no, I wouldn't tell you. I wouldn't say anything earlier because I want her to be 18, not reach back to her family. Whatever the fuck that means. The police told Thomas that they believed he was not telling the truth and to tell them what really happened. And at that point, Thomas stated, he said, she'll be all right, and I want to talk to a lawyer. So at that point, they ended the interview. Imagine this fucktard. I'm sorry, y'all. I need to get where's my swear bell. Let me put money in the swear bell today. This fucktard pisses me the fuck off. Yes, he is giving Tom's a bad name. Let's revoke Thomas from his name. We'll call him Nike. They've got children working on them damn shoes overseas, so we'll call him Nike. Okay, so on January 22nd, they did a search warrant for the black Acura RDX and collected 5 items, which included a hair tie and DNA swabs. The next day, January 23rd, with the assistance of the FBI and a bunch of other people, they did a search warrant at the Airbnb residence where Thomas had stayed on January 6th. A physical search was conducted, and they also did a digital review of the cabin's router. The same day, they obtained the bank records for Thomas, which revealed charges at a gas station that appeared to be between Columbus and Indiana. That gas station was in the area of Knightstown, Indiana. And there was a charge for a restaurant in Fortville, Indiana, close to where Hailey worked. So he's been to where she worked. He went to her job, bought food, and sat there and talked to her and ate his food. Yeah. We need to do something with Roblox. They've got to do something. It's always Roblox. Always. Okay. So those charges occurred on June 5th of 2025. Okay, so on June 5th of 2025, he's at Hailey's job eating food where she's working at. And then on January, he's abducting and committing her homicide. So it suggested that he had previously traveled to Indiana to meet Hailey. They also revealed a charge from the day prior to the Indiana charges at an adult novelty store in the Lion's Den in Columbus, Ohio. He went and got fucking sex toys, y'all.
What the fuck, y'all? God damn! God damn! God damn!
He went and got sex toys. The day before, he went and seen her at her job. Like, I don't even, I'm sure you got it. So, also on that day, they did a search warrant they got it signed for Thomas's cell phone that was seized on January 21st to locate any evidence related to Hailey's disappearance. And they formed a forensic extraction of the device pursuant to the search warrant. During the review of the cell phone, they identified the number as 808-381-1466. They also identified forensic fragments that appeared to relate to communication interactions between Thomas and Hailey. The forensic fragments detailed the following paragraph pertaining to the files that have been deleted on the phone. So they got bits and pieces of his communications with Hailey. And what we're going to read in just a second is one of those pieces of conversation. they couldn't get the whole thing. So they had to get pieces and what they could extract. This is one thing that they could extract. So it tells us that they identified an image with a bunch of numbers, which depicted a screenshot of a Snapchat user profile with the username of Hailey. It was Hailey Snapchat. At the bottom right-hand corner, there was an image with a white triangle and an icon of a blue folder indicating that the application was running inside of Samsung's secure folder. So basically, the screenshots that show up with the white icon and the blue folder, you can see it more clearly. It's down here. I don't think I can zoom in. Let's see. Yeah. You see this little white icon and there's a blue folder right here? That shows you that it's basically that message is being saved, and that's the only reason we have this message. There's a couple of them that they were able to get. Additionally, they identified a cached image with a bunch of numbers, and it depicted a screenshot conversation with Hailey and another party believed to be Nike. At the bottom right-hand corner, they had the photo icon of the file. There was no date visible on the conversation, but the last access time for both screenshots was July 1st of 2025, and the following is the conversation that appeared in the second screenshot. And it's got Hailey at the top. I'll show you over here. This is Hailey at the top, and then there's Hailey with crying faces, like the little freaking avatar, and it's got tears coming out. And it says, "What time earlier works best?" as me. Hailey said, "Usually late morning or early afternoon if I'm not in the gym. If neither parents are home, I can probably call till like 5. He said, "I can't even remember how long ago it was when I told you my name and my age. Ha ha." She said, "Oh my God, by the way, I've like low-key forgotten your exact age. I have your birthday in my calendar though." Laugh out loud, or at least I did. He said, "Let's redo it." Meaning, let's redo my birthday. Let's redo my age. She put a heart. And he said, "On the other app, LOL, I'm going to jump over." So at that point, he takes her to the Sessions app to continue communicating with her. And by the way, if we had read through that part that I feel like is not of the utmost importance, the FBI agent, the special agent on this case, states that he is only putting information that is pertinent into this complaint, right? He's only putting the information that absolutely needs to be there to get the warrant and to file the complaint. So this isn't even everything. My thought process is that he knew this was going to come out, so he only put what was absolutely necessary here. They've got more than this that they're not putting out. Carr said, "I can only imagine the defense his team is going to make." Quote, "In her state, 17 as an adult, and she was in a consensual relationship with him. Yes, he went too far, but it was consensual." I motherfucking hope not. I motherfucking hope not. But you're probably right. You're probably right. 100%. Oh, it gets worse. Wait till we get to the conversation with a different minor that was in 10th grade. So it reads that they were able to determine that Snapchat had previously been installed on the device, but he had deleted it. They identified other images that related to Hailey. Those images had those numbers. The images, let me get my trigger warning because it's going to get bad from here on out. So I'm going to put this trigger warning up for you guys because it's real bad. So those images showed that he was sitting in the vehicle staring at the camera, and what appeared to be Hailey was leaning over, sitting beside him, and she was leaning over with her face next to his neck, and it was giving the appearance that she was kissing his neck. The vehicle seats and interior were the same, they think, allegedly, as the 2014 Acura RDX that was photographed and processed by the police department. The files had last been accessed July 2nd of 2025. So they continued to get more warrants for more records for his phone, and they revealed that he placed a call on July 2nd of 2025 using a cell phone tower near Fortville, Indiana, basically stating that Hailey was with him. What they're finding out from that is Hailey was with him on July 2nd of 2025. She's sitting in his car, she's kissing his neck, and he had been up there the month before, almost a month exactly prior, and eaten at her restaurant or wherever the hell it is that she was working. He had been to where she works at to go see her. Also, during a review of the device, they identified other audio files that were turn-by-turn navigation audio files. So one of them said, quote, "In 2 miles, take exit 131 for Wilbur Wright Road." Another one said, "In 2 miles, take exit 137 for Indiana toward Hagerstown, Connorsville." And another one said, "In 2 miles, take exit 145 toward Centerville." The file access time was listed as January 6th at 4:38 a.m. So that's when he's going down there to get her or coming back to Ohio, one of the two. They identified the exit numbers and names as exit off of Interstate 70 highway in Indiana, west of Richmond, Indiana. So basically, he's got his GPS going, and he's got Hailey in the car. He's going back to Ohio with her in the car, and the GPS is giving him directions. That's what that's telling you. Exactly, Lisa Lynn. Grooming to the max, 100%.
Boom, 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 bop, bam.
Unfortunately. Poor baby. Okay, another image appeared to relate to the navigation, and this is the name of that image. All of that right there. It depicted a photo of a Google map with the location of North Country Trailhead. And so he used a map to get to where he basically put her body. It depicted, there was another one that's got a long ass numbers and letters, and it also depicted a Google map with the location of North Country Trailhead. The blue dot represented the current location of the user, which was southwest of the selected trailhead near the Airbnb. So what that's saying is that he could have allegedly been at the Airbnb with her deceased body after he killed her, and then looked for an area that was close by that he could put her, and the closest place was the trailhead. So he's got the blue dot of where he's at in the Airbnb or close to it, and he's looking for an area close by on his maps, and it picked like the North Country Trailhead, a place probably in this national forest he knew, and he's looking on the map to try to figure out where to bury her decapitated body. I hate to say that over and over, but you really got to understand. I was in your truck the whole time. Oh, that's so sweet of Bella's. Louisiana and Indiana, where else? I don't know, but they need to change that. This ain't 1846 anymore. It is very bad. Thank you, Jenny Jen, for that warning. I'll leave that up. I was there and she didn't know it. I was up under the seat. I was up under the seat with an old water bottle. All right. So they continued to review his device and identified a conversation on Discord between Thomas and a different minor child who's in 10th grade. They identified her as the minor child 1. This happened December 13th of 2025. So what? Exactly 2 months ago. This is just a snip of the conversation between him and this minor child. And I'll pull it up over here so we can see it clearly, because this is some fucked up shit. And it could explain what happened to Hailey. So Thomas says, "Why, hello," with a little angel halo smiley face. The child says, "Hi." Thomas says, "We've such cute looking pictures. No one would ever guess. Ha ha ha." Thomas said, "And ... was daydreaming about us disposing of a toy for Christmas." The child, clueless, said, "Okay." I mean, look at that. Okay. Like the child's just looking for somebody to talk to, has no idea that you're talking about a fucking sex toy for Christmas. Thomas said, sorry, ... depraved gore thoughts. Is that going too far? Depraved gore thoughts. This reminds me of the David situation. Like, what is it with sex and death, sex and blood, sex and harm? Like, I mean, again, I'm not trying to share too much. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes a little bit of I'm not going to share too much. Not blood necessarily, but maybe aggressive relations between two consenting adults that are in a relationship is okay, but like blood and guts and fucking death, what the fuck is wrong with these people? Oh, GPS. See, look, I told y'all sometimes I'm dumb as fuck. Y'all gotta forgive me. All right, continuing. The child, again, reiterate, we're to underline, the child said, oh, I just didn't understand it. As the child shouldn't. This is a fucking child. Of course the child didn't understand it. The child shouldn't be understanding what the fuck you're talking about when you say depraved gore thoughts. I wish I had me a wood chipper and was in the presence of this fucker. I hope he does every single night. I really hope he does every single fucking night, Tom. He says, forgive me, with a little innocent looking smiley face. I wanted to make a few new holes in it to see how good it felt. And the child, unaware of what he's talking about, still says, in what? I wanted to make a few new holes in it to see how good it felt. The child says, in what? His response, some young little fuck meat teen. Some young little fuck meat teen. I like to make a few new holes in this fuck tard. Like, he should be fucking double fisted and both feet put in his back door for the, let me not go down that road of gore. Jesus Christ. Some young little fuck meat teen. The child. Oh, okay. He says, does baby carve parts of her own body? Trying to get her to cut herself. Trying to get her to hurt herself. Trying to get her to cut herself. Do you carve parts of your own body? Trying to encourage her to self-harm. The child, completely uninterested in this fucking conversation, tries to politely exit by saying, we need to finish this later. I'm studying. Like, everything the child says tells you exactly how young this child is, how they're not interested at all. And he's trying to seem young by the way he types, but I don't understand why. Like, I'm sure there are FET communities out there between consenting adults that would love to talk about shit like this with him. This child has no idea, is completely uninterested. So why are you doing this? Why? I don't get it. I don't understand. Abella said there was a show called Kink actually following real people into various things in Vancouver. Some of the episodes were really over the top. Some of them I just couldn't watch. That's crazy. Right. Necrophiliacs. Yep. One sunny day. So the conversation continued on December 15th of 2025. The child reached out and said, hi. Thomas said, baby. How are you? How you? How you? Not how are you? How you? Can you get off of my page? Thank you. How you? The child said, I'm good. You? And then just, that's all the conversation so far. Hi, baby, how are you? Child says, I'm good. You? And then he says, I'm having very dark but stimulating thoughts. Like, just straight to the fucking point, why don't you? With the little fucking face. Very disturbing. The minor child says, oh no. He says, I know. And then he says, I was wondering how I would get away with it because she would definitely tell. Who would tell, Thomas? This takes place again on December 15th. The child, completely unaware and oblivious, is like, I don't know. And then he replies, keep it locked in the basement. What? The child says, I don't know. I don't know the girl. He says, I guess I'll be a good man for the time being, and asked how much you've been carving yourself, how much you've been hurting and carving your skin, hurting yourself. Child, again, completely uninterested. Not a lot. He's upset now. Aw, but you looked so good covered in red, covered in blood. Tenth grade is all we know. This child is in 10th grade. Then he says, you're not in class now, are you? The 10th grade child says, no, we're off today. And then he says, how lucky, college? He knows damn well this child's not in college. The child said, no. Then he says, even better. This shit's infuriating. Child, being a child, says, hee hee, with a smiley face. He says, I hope our gap is even larger than I think. That means a gap in age. I want it to be even larger. I hope you are even younger. Yes, ma'am. He is repulsive and he is a monster. Child says, me too. He says, would you be fine with someone really old encouraging you to cut yourself while he's inside you? I'd think the pain will make you tighten up even more.
What the fuck, y'all? God damn! God damn! God damn!
What the fuck? What the fuck? This is what this child is being exposed to from this sick old bastard. It's probably my age, but regardless, sick old bastard. Child replies, with a smiley face. He says, let's see, your age minus mine. 26 years? There's a 26 years difference in their ages. So, let's see. And then the child says, how old are you? Thomas says, 41, but I'll be 42 this year. Can I just get the answer? 15. The child is 15. 15-year-old child that he's talking about having cut themselves, among other things. 15-year-old. He says, I'm 41, I'll be 42 this year in a week. Child, being a child, says, yeah, you're right. And then, oh, happy early birthday. Out of all of everything he just said about this fucking gore, graphic, all the fuck shit, her response is, happy early birthday. Yep. Not subtle at all, Lisa. Not subtle at all. I mean, he's fucking sick. And this is another victim other than Hailey, a 15-year-old. He says, thank you. And then he says, is that the 9th grade? And then the child replies, 10th grade. 10th grade, 15-year-old. Absolutely 100% disgusting. I don't know, Abellis. I would love for somebody to explain to me how that's remotely something that somebody thinks about. This is fucking sick. Okay. This is a horrific thing, too. While they were searching, they found a file that appeared to depict CSAM, specifically a cached image with the title of a bunch of numbers. The image depicted a fully nude prepubescent girl that was from the ages of 7 to 10 years old. She was laying on her back, wearing a purple mask over her eyes. An individual wearing a black mask was laying on top of the girl with her hands on her butt and his mouth next to her vagina. A 7 to 10-year-old girl. Another man is wearing a black mask, hands on the butt, mouth there. There was a watermark on it that said kpp83.com. So that's from a child pornography site. At that point, they ceased review of the device until a second search warrant was obtained to include anything related to the possession and distribution of CSAM. They obtained that warrant on January 26th, and they seized visual media communications related to CSAM. I mean, again, we're hearing this, right? And the affiant stated that this isn't even everything. He just put what was absolutely necessary to get this criminal complaint. That's another good question. Why would a 10th grade girl even talk to someone like this? So scary. Great question. Attention, wanting somebody to talk to. Not understanding exactly what's going on because their mind isn't built to talk about things like gore porn or fucking carving yourself. Yeah, she probably doesn't know what to say. Absolutely, Lisa Lynn. Doesn't even know how to respond to this fucker.
Boom, 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 bam.
I apologize. My vape works half of the time, and this has just got my nerves fucked up. He is absolutely depraved, 100%. 100%. You would think. I need to look into it and see if he's got any previous records. Hio got me these documents, which I was grateful that she got me these documents so we understand how much of a piece of shit this motherfucker is. So I'll ask her. And again, if you guys haven't subscribed to her, please do so. She always gets good stuff. Interesting stuff that's pertinent, not good. This is in no way, shape, or form good, but you get what I'm saying. So during the second review of the device, they got 15 images that he tried to delete. One of them depicted Hailey laying on her back on a blue diamond patterned blanket with her eye. This is going to be graphic, okay? Again, this is graphic. So it showed Hailey laying on her back on a blue diamond patterned blanket with her eyes closed and an adult male penis touching her face and mouth. That blanket matched a blanket found at his house, not the Airbnb, but his house at 947 Hunter Avenue. So he took her to his house and then to the Airbnb where he committed the homicide and then buried her. What? YouTube, you're drunk. Go home. I'll never understand it. I'll never understand this shit. Another one depicted a series of images from a video that showed Hailey fully nude laying on her back on the same blanket while an adult male was grabbing her neck and inserting his penis into her mouth. Another one depicted several images from a video in which Hailey was fully nude, laying on her back on the same blanket while an adult male inserted his penis into her mouth. Additional images showed a close-up of a nude vagina with an adult male face over top of it. Another depicted a series of images from a video which an adult male fully nude is laying on his back on the same blanket, the blue diamond pattern blanket, while Hailey nude but covered with a white blanket was on top of the adult male holding his penis and inserting it into her mouth. The bed frame was the same bed frame identified at his house, not the Airbnb, but his house of 947 Hunter Avenue. The image with this title depicted a series of images from a video with a fully nude adult male standing behind a fully nude female who was bent over a sink in the bathroom. They identified the bathroom as the one located in the Airbnb. Photos taken, they were taken during the search. I apologize. This fucks me up. Okay, so they identified the Airbnb through photos that they took on January 23rd from that search warrant. Another one depicted several images from a video in which a nude female was laying face down on a bed facing away from the camera, and a fully nude male climbed on top of her, also facing away from the camera, with his penis near the female's vagina. They identified the bed as the one located in the Airbnb. I think that is about the most graphic part of the warrant. Glad we got through that. He did. And it concerns me because we hear this conversation with the girl in 10th grade, and then we find out that Hailey is decapitated. So he obviously took her there. He obviously abused her, and she might have been groomed to the point of it being consensual, well, not consensual, but groomed to think that that was okay, and that's how she was supposed to be. I don't fucking know. She was groomed to think the abuse was acceptable, is what I'm trying to say, okay? So at what point did it become, I'm going to kill her? Was it for the sexual gratification? Because he seems to be into that shit. What exactly, like, that's what I'm thinking. Since he's talking about putting a few new holes to see how good it feels to the 10th grader. Did you carve yourself? You'd look so good covered in red. And then we have these images that I just described, which tells me that Hailey might have been willing to suffer that abuse of him raping her, because that's exactly what the fuck happened. And she was groomed to think that it was acceptable and what she should do, I believe. So at what point did everything go south in his mind, in his mindset? What point did you have to kill her? Pics made me think of the picture of Andrew's picture on all fours over that poor woman. Yeah, that was some fucked up shit too. Okay, so they made the criminal complaint and arrest warrant, which we have went over. Let's see. I've got that. At that point, they made this. And it read, on or about the 6th day of January, he did, knowing that an official investigation is in progress or about to be instituted or likely to be instituted, to wit, a missing juvenile Hailey investigation, alter or remove a thing, to wit, a video of Hailey, the missing juvenile, performing sexual acts, which was located in his deleted file in its form of cache photos, with the purpose to impair its availability as evidence in such proceeding or investigation. So it's at that point that this is made and they arrest him. This is the arrest warrant, right? After they saw those images and videos. On February 1st, he was picked up from Franklin County Correction. Okay, hold on. They made the arrest warrant and charged him with pandering, sexually oriented matter involving a minor, create, produce material, a felony of the second degree, and tampering with evidence in an attempt to alter, destroy, conceal, remove a record, a felony of the third degree. He was taken into custody the same day. The next day, with all the sheriff's office and the FBI, he was transported to North County Trailhead and Wayne National Forest. And his attorney followed Thomas and the law enforcement in a different vehicle, and they all met at the trailhead. Thomas, his attorney, and the transporting officers met with personnel from the Franklin County Sheriff's Office, Perry County Prosecutor's Office, the U.S. Forest Service, and the FBI. They all walked to a location northeast of the trailhead where Thomas pointed out that Hailey's body was buried. The location was secured and Thomas was transported back to his jail cell. Once Thomas indicated where Hailey's body was buried, they traveled to the trailhead, they met with crime scene unit, and they removed snow in the upper layer of frozen dirt and eventually unearthed dismembered human remains. That's super important. He dismembered her after abusing her. Probably when she wanted to leave. Yeah. Or she said no to this gore shit that he was into, baby. Yep. Mustang said, I think it was planned fantasy. You think it was his fantasy to do that and kill somebody while, yeah, it could be because he was talking about, do you want to carve yourself while I'm inside you? Because I think it would tighten up. So yeah, it could be some type of fantasy. Yeah. And she, yeah. I don't think he ever was going to let her leave either. You know, I really do, now that I'm thinking about it even more, he groomed her for over a year, went and met her at work, went out of his way to make sure she was extremely comfortable with him, and then committed the homicide. Like, he spent a whole year grooming her, traveling to Indiana, meeting her in person, eating at her restaurant that she worked at or wherever it was that she worked. And then he gets her finally, the moment you've been building up to for a whole entire year, and within 24 hours, she's dead. It's got to be fantasy based and planned. He planned to do this because he wanted to fulfill some kind of fantasy. Exactly. I think that's exactly what happened. And I'm wondering if the prosecutor's office is going to go with that too, because that's what it seems to be most logical here. How is the defense going to fight that? I can't understand how anyone ends up like this shitbag. There had to be signs for years of how sick he was. We're going to briefly discuss that too before we go for the day.
Boom, 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 bop, bam.
Yep. He was already discussing having dark thoughts too. Yep. Yeah. All of the things he said, 17 or not, what the hell? Exactly. Sarah, yeah. Very disturbing. Okay. So when they unearthed the dismembered human remains, they did a rapid DNA test against the sample they had collected from Hailey's residence, and it confirmed that it was Hailey, more than likely. But she was taken to the Perry County coroner's office to have an autopsy done. They're going to see if there's substances in her system, all of that stuff, and just basically 100% verify that it is her. The same day they found her body, dismembered remains, they executed a second warrant on the Airbnb where Thomas had stayed, and they utilized advanced scientific methods, and they located potential traces of blood throughout the residence. They seized numerous items that potentially contained traces of blood. Those items are awaiting further analysis. So they executed the search warrant originally looking for proof that Hailey had been there. Once they found out that she was indeed deceased, they go back, do another search warrant, and get everything that had traces of blood on it. Because it's obvious that she was dismembered somewhere, more than likely the Airbnb. So there's going to be a lot of blood. And he cleaned up. He had an extensive period of time to clean up before the FBI came knocking. And so they went back and I hope they got everything they needed. I hope the Airbnb has a fucking camera we don't know about. Yep. And they're pushing for, like I said, legislation that enhances the Amber Alert system in her name. We'll talk about that too. So it again says, basically, to sum it all up, they believe that Thomas Nike traveled from Columbus, Ohio to Fortville, Indiana during the overnight hours of January 5th to January 6th, where he picked up Hailey, a female who was less than 18 years of age, and returned from Indiana to the Southern District of Ohio with the intent to engage in illicit sexual activity, specifically the production of child pornography. There is further probable cause to believe that within the Southern District of Ohio, specifically Columbus and Logan, Ohio, Tyler Nike Thomas did use and transport Hailey with the intent that Hailey engage in any sexually explicit conduct for the purpose of creating a visual depiction of such conduct. Therefore, they request that he be arrested. I really hope that they didn't get some kind of deal with this sick, depraved motherfucker, and that's why he's not being charged with homicide, because I don't understand why he's not being charged with homicide at all. So while we're talking about this sick, depraved motherfucker, we're going to go back to this post because I feel like it's of the utmost importance, and then we'll talk about what her parents are trying to do as far as Hailey's law. So this is a AWDTS group, right? We've talked about this. I'm just going to go through it briefly. He goes by James on here. That's what he looks like when his hair's not all fucked up and he's not all stressed out. But what's important to me is that it shows him as a 31-year-old man that is straight. He says he loves to travel, explore, and experiment. His desires, sexual, I can't tell what that says, BW, DWB, PWB, something B. He desires connection. And then he desires BDSM. Do we all know what BDSM is? Also intimacy. I can't read the other ones. He's on here looking specifically to fuck. They talk about girls, you know, just looking for somebody to hook up with for the night. If that's your thing, you do you, boo. Just be safe. This is the other important part. It says, I met James. James is actually Tyler, and it's 100% him. James' jawline is really square in person, just like the mugshot. Same eyes, same face, same hair, same freckles. I left his quote-unquote apartment after 10 minutes. He claimed to only have a bike and no car. That adds up. This comment is from a year ago, by the way, or 31 minutes ago, but it's in a year ago post. That adds up because the car belonged to Jane Doe too. So she met him for coffee and then went to his place, but left quickly. She said, I don't know why, I just had to leave. Nothing bad happened, just a bad gut feeling. Had a very empty apartment, a mattress on the floor of his room, and nobody else was there, but he claimed to have 3 roommates. So we know that there was a bed frame from the pictures and on the bed that he abused Hailey on the diamond blue blanket or whatever. Evidently, he has since gotten a bedroom with a blanket on it with a bed frame. He's using a female's car. So he learned from this incident and tried to make it better. But I question this extremely bad gut feeling. Was that like the earth trying to tell you to get the fuck out of there? Has he done this before? Because that's a lot of shit. Like to abduct somebody, commit their homicide within a day or two, and then bury the body. Has he done this before? Yep, a mattress on the floor and allegedly has 3 roommates. A lot of people's have profiles like that. I didn't know that. That's crazy. Same with Stefan. The law should never offer deals on crimes against children. Yes.
Boom, 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 bop, bam.
Absolutely agree with that. Let me get an applause. Yes. Yes. Where is it at? There it is. Can we please stop doing that? court system. Tom said, girls, ladies, a dude said he doesn't have a car and only a bike. Say no thanks. 100, yes. Again, 100%.
Boom, 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 bop, bam.
If he can't even support himself, honey, he can't support you. And if he can't support you, he don't deserve your time. So another person was saying this is horrifying. Situations like this is why we need groups like this. By the way, the group is titled, Are We Dating the Same Guy? Columbus, Marion, and Zanesville, Ohio. Brilliant Raspberry responded, I've met him too if you ever need to talk. Said, I hung out with him in 2023 after matching on Tinder. Took me to his apartment, mattress on the floor, rode a bike, not many belongings, large, desolate apartment for 3 or 4 roommates, 2 SE actually Ford, and I got weirded out, like a bad gut feeling weirded out and left. And then they talk about contacting the sheriff's office to give them information to try to help with Hailey, which I 100% appreciate them doing. Okay, hold on. So this was from 6 days ago. They did light the courthouse up pink in remembrance of Hailey. There was a picture of it. It says, residents are encouraged to go pink for Hailey in remembrance of the Fishers teen. Hamilton County is participating in Go Pink for Hailey month by illuminating the Hamilton County Old Courthouse pink throughout the month of February in remembrance of Hailey Buzbee. Buzbee was a student at Hamilton Southeastern High School, and she was reported missing several weeks ago. I want to see if I can find a picture of it. We're going to look on Facebook. Yep, there it is. So this was yesterday, no, 2 days ago. See the pink lights there? That's for Hailey. It says Hamilton County is joining the community in honoring Hailey Buzbee by lighting the old courthouse pink throughout the month of February as part of Go Pink for Hailey month. We extend our deepest condolences to the Buzbee family and encourage residents to light their homes in pink in a show of support and solidarity. Here's another picture. Maybe. That's beautiful. Says a community we're not united in remembrance, city of Noblesville, in loving memory of Hailey Buzbee. That's just. And I want to read y'all about the proposed bill before we leave. Maybe. It says, could proposed changes to Indiana law have helped Hailey Buzbee? This is her father and her stepmother. Oh, don't be stupid. Okay, I'm going to try to redo it. Hold on. I got to let it load for just a second. Oh, shit. Okay, let me back it up. Jesus. Why? All right, we'll talk for a minute and I'll redo it. This is her mother and her stepfather at the state house talking to them, which you can't hear it right now, but you'll hear it in just a second. And they're talking about the changes that they want law and Congress to go through. What the fuck? Hold on. Now it's saying it won't share my audio. Try again. Wants me to pay for it. Oh, we get the ad this time. Hopefully we'll get the whole thing. Oh, well, that's something good to see during this horrific case. There we go. This is her father and her stepmom. Mm. Mm. I promise you don't. Okay, the article reads, Fisher's teen Hailey Buzbee may have been deceased before police even announced her disappearance. Recently released federal court documents show. As more evidence is made public, her family and their advocates aren't blaming law enforcement, but instead pushing for new tools police can use and changes to Indiana's missing person alert system, but it is unclear if proposed changes state lawmakers are advancing would have been enough to save Busby. Quote, we want to use this momentum, even if it means saving just one person, unquote, said Megan Tomlinson, founder of the nonprofit Silver Lining of Hope, who has supported the Busby family since the teen first went missing. Quote, it's not necessarily because we think we could have saved her, but we know it can save other people. Language to allow Amber Alerts to be issued for a, quote, high risk missing person, unquote, advanced through the Indiana Senate Corrections and Criminal Law Committee as part of House Bill 1303 on February 10th. The recently released federal court documents show that on January 7th, the cell phone of Tyler Thomas traveled to Wayne National Forest, southeast of Columbus, Ohio, where Busby's body was later found buried. Also on January 7th, the Fishers Police Department shared its first missing persons post for Busby after she was last seen by family the night of January 5th. So on the day the police shared her missing flyer is also the day that he went to the forest to bury her. So unfortunately, it appears she could not have been saved. However, this could save. You couldn't hear it? What the fuck? However, this could save other children. We'll pull it up a different way. I'm going to continue to read the article. I'm sorry you couldn't hear them. We'll jump over here. You should be able to hear it now, and we'll continue reading the article. Can you hear it now? Can you hear it now? No? What the Hold on. What the fuck? All right, let me finish reading this and we'll come back and I'll try to pull it back up. Quote, this is an immediate step we can take to give law enforcement greater discretion in high-risk missing child cases, unquote. State Representative Chris Jeter, a Republican from Fisher, said in a news release. Quote, but this is part of a much larger effort to modernize Indiana's child welfare and endangerment laws, unquote. Families, including Hailey Buzbee father Beau Buzbee, and Tomlinson have talked with lawmakers about additional changes they believe could have more of an impact for missing and endangered people in Indiana. Quote, we are happy to see changes being made, but there's still a lot more to go, unquote, Tomlinson told Indy Star. Quote, we are still advocating for pink alerts and Hailey's Law, unquote. The pink alert system would be used for missing persons and children when, quote, credible risk indicators exist, unquote, even if amber or silver alert criteria are not met. This would include timely public notification when disappearances involve unusual or concerning circumstances. These alerts would be geo-targeted under the changes the Buzbee family and advocates are proposing. Quote, that means if someone goes missing in Noblesville, we could notify people in Noblesville, Tomlinson said. Quote, it would be up to the police officer where they would want to target the notification so the entire state isn't notified whenever someone is missing under these circumstances, unquote. Hailey's Law would also create an online system where people who receive pink alerts could find out more details about the missing person and submit tips or video evidence. The new law would also limit the circumstances under which police could categorize a missing child as a runaway. Quote, the only way they would be able to call someone a runaway is if they are down the road at a friend's house and don't want to come home, unquote. Tomlinson said, quote, it's very unsafe to begin with when we have missing children classified as runaways. We want to give these tools to officers to help find missing people. Senator Greg Taylor questioned why authorities didn't use tools already available to them to alert the public about the disappearance of Buzbee during the Corrections and Criminal Law Committee hearing. Quote, you're telling me that this young lady could have been missing and there was no Amber Alert available to do this under current law, unquote, Taylor asked. Buzbee's disappearance wasn't alerted because she was initially considered a runaway. Investigators believe Buzbee and Thomas talked for more than a year on multiple online gaming platforms before she voluntarily left her home to meet him and then went missing. Under the state's current criteria for Amber Alerts, law enforcement must believe the child was abducted and in danger of serious bodily harm or death. Indiana has 3 types of missing persons alert, which are Amber Alerts, Silver Alerts, and Green Alerts. Amber Alert criteria is, right now, the child must be under 18, the child must be believed to be abducted and in danger of serious bodily harm or death. There must be enough descriptive information to believe the broadcast would help, and request must be recommended by the law enforcement agency or jurisdiction. And then a Silver Alert says the person must be missing an endangered adult, missing an endangered child, high-risk missing person, or have a mental impairment validated through credible medical authority like a physician, physician's assistant, or nurse practitioner. There must be enough descriptive information to believe the broadcast would help. A request must be recommended. Green Alert, the person must be a missing veteran at risk whose disappearance is the result of physical or mental health condition that is directly related to the veteran's military service. There must be enough descriptive information to believe the broadcast would help, and requests must be recommended. All right, now let me try to pull up what they said. Try it this way. Hold on, I got one more thing I can try. Okay, let me close out of all of this. Sorry. Yeah, I find that interesting too. All right, I'm going to try to pull it back up now, because I do want us to hear what they had to say. Let me know if you can hear it once it starts. Hold on.
This is my beautiful wife, Rania. My name is Beau Buzbee, and this is my beautiful wife, Rania Buzbee. Last month, our precious daughter, Hailey Paige Buzbee, was lured away from our home.
Yes, okay,
Tragically
good.
murdered
Thank
by
you.
an online predator. We are in the midst of the greatest crisis of our time. We are losing the fight to protect our children. The internet and social media are the devil's and predators' playgrounds, and it's on this front that we must fight. I understand that the amendment as it stands today may not be in its final form, but I beg of you, please do not let this opportunity slip away.
We're also looking at how we can bolster Indiana's alert system to make sure a situation like this triggers an alert in the future.
Today, we'll be inserting language into House Bill 1303 that expands the discretion law enforcement has to issue Amber Alerts when they know and have reason to know early that children are endangered or that they've been enticed and aren't just runaways. But to be clear, this is part of a much larger effort that we'll engage in over the next year to make sure that our endangerment and child welfare laws are updated to reflect, the impact of social media and online sites to child welfare.
From the perspective of a Hoosier family who lost our most precious gift from God. I assure you, the decisions that you are considering today have the power to save children's lives.
God bless. I do not know what it's like to lose a child, and I could not imagine. God bless them and everybody going through things right now. I just, gracious. It happened so quick, and I mean, this motherfucker was just depraved. I think that it was planned. I think it was some kind of fantasy he had. Considering how long he groomed her, and then, how quickly she was deceased, and what he said to the 10-year-old. I think this was absolutely planned. I think that this was going to happen, regardless of which child he chose, or which child left with him. And I question whether he's done this before. And I hate that her parents are having to go through this now. I think it's a beautiful thing that they're lighting up the town pink for her, to remember her, because this should have never happened. And I mean, again, the common denominator we're seeing in a lot of these cases is fucking Roblox. I hope that this bill gets changed for the Amber Alert system, and I hope that they do something with Roblox. This shit's got to stop. It's just too fucking much. And so with that, since we've been going for about 3 hours, I'm going to go ahead and go for the day. I appreciate you all hanging out with me today. You guys are absolutely amazing. Like Lori said, please pay attention to what your kids are doing online. Just try to get them off of playing the games online at all. That's what we did. Because, I mean, kids like Roblox. They like Minecraft. But we can make it to where they can't communicate with people online at all. Like, just block that shit. Don't pay for the monthly thing that you pay for or whatever. Just keep them off the fucking internet. They don't need to be playing games with other kids anyway. Yeah, thank you, Mustang. We will be back tomorrow. Stephanie, you too have a great night. I did get some body cam for a case out of Las Vegas that I wanted to go over with you guys. So hopefully I can get that out to you guys. I want to study a little bit more on that case because I saw the body cam and was interested, but I haven't studied the case extensively. So we are going to study that, and we will be going over the body cam tomorrow. It might already be out on video like today's information was, or it might not. We shall see. But I will have body cam for us to look at in a different case tomorrow. Please take care. I hope y'all have a lovely night. Yes, I agree. And I will see y'all tomorrow. Until then, stay safe and know that you are appreciated, you are loved, you are valued, and you are enough, and you are important. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Thank you again for hanging out with me day after day. It means the world to me. I see you guys and I notice it. And we're going to do something where we comment on videos, and I'm going to pick 3 people from the comment section to win the gifts because nobody's contacted me. So probably do it on Saturday because they have until Saturday. I said 2 weeks. I've still got to get some more things to go to the giveaway. So it's not, I haven't even got to where I can send it out yet, but I am working on it. We've just been real strapped for money right now. So we're working on that. So I will see y'all tomorrow. And until then, stay safe. Love you.